What's up, guys? We are back to Final Fantasy 12. I keep coming back to this game. I'm just now starting to realize that this just might be my favorite Final Fantasy game. I mean, a lot of people didn't like 12, but I really love 12. I love the battle system, the side quests, the characters, and the boss fights. But yeah, I really love Final Fantasy 12, and I keep coming back to it. But anyway, on to business. Now, remember when I was doing the LP of this game, I promised you guys a Ultimate Weapons movie. I actually started making that movie doing the LP. And the footage that you're currently watching right now is indeed footage from that movie. But for some reason, I never uploaded it. I mean, I never canceled it, I just didn't get around to it. But I've been thinking about it, so now I'm going to bring you guys the movie that I promised. It's going to be pretty long. I'm glad I didn't upload it back then, because this was around the time when I kept saying okay and alright every 5 seconds. Occasionally I will probably leave in the original commentary of this video, but I said okay over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know why I did that. I just did. As I said, I started making this movie a while back. The first part of that movie featured the like all the best weapons, armor, and accessories that you can get after obtaining the Dawn Shard. After you get the Dawn Shard, there's just so many things that you can get, really, that just breaks the main game completely. So we're gonna start with that. And like I said, on occasions I will leave the original commentary in. You should be able to tell the difference between live commentary and two year ago commentary.
Cannot live by resolve alone, princess.
Actually, guys, you know what? After watching it, I would say that I said okay and alright just way too many times. So instead of showing the original commentary of that, I'm going to record over and input background music. Once again, guys, the first part of this movie was showing you all the best stuff, well, most of the best stuff that you can get right after attaining the Dawn Shard. However, before you attain the Dawn Shard, you want to beat those 2 demon walls and use that secret passage in order to attain a Demon's Bane sword. Sometimes it's a holy mote, sometimes it's Gil, and sometimes it won't be there at all. In the international version, this is always a Scathe mote and it does not respawn. And now we have the Dawn Shard, we can go get the Zodiac Spear. But instead of going directly forward, we're going to work our way up. The first thing you want to do is buy a main gosh. Well, maybe you might want to get 3 of them. Buy main gosh and your strongest shields. Also, you want to get Cura, Protect, Raise, Shell, all that stuff. The next thing you want to do is you want to head to Nabina and do that Julie side quest thing. Now you want to route the chocobo into the town and activate the save crystal, so you can teleport here later on without having to, you know, route the chocobo again. Anyway, guys, as I said, it's possible to get the Zodiac Spear right now, but it'll be kind of suicidal to try. Instead, we're gonna work our way up. The Zodiac Spear isn't the only thing we can get right now. We can get a lot of stuff right now. And we're gonna start with the 3rd strongest katana, the Ame No Murakumo, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. You need 9 crystals, 7 string roots, and 5 iron ores. First thing you want to do is chain these great tortoises first. I mean, you don't necessarily have to chain this one, but it'll be easy because the ceiling tortoise over there in the hidden passage is kind of strong. So chain the weak tortoise first. You're gonna have to do a lot of walking to zone this one. Get to like maybe a level 1 chain at least. Now go to hidden passage and chain the big ones. Keep killing these guys over and over again until you get your water crystals. It shouldn't take too long because it's like a common drop or a semi-common drop, I don't know. You also get Ace Turtle Shell, so this will help. Now we're gonna get the stream roots. First thing you want to do is teleport back to Nabina and buy three thief cups. You do want to get these. Buy some golden emmets if you want to. Now we're gonna use this chocobo instead of the one by Nabina, because we can use this one to go all the way to the Salika Wood. This is also the chocobo that you want to use when you want to fight the Bomb King, but we'll deal with him later. Actually, I kind of accidentally deleted that. Anyway, You want to use this chocobo to ride all the way to the Silica Wood and fight those little tomato heads. Now we want to steal our 7 string roots. But while we're doing this, we're going to steal a black garb. This is the strongest armor that we can get right now, and we need this to work our way up. It's a rare steal, unfortunately, but keep doing it and eventually you will get a couple of them. During this process, you will also get stolen magicites. We need this later on. I'll talk about this later. At this point, what you want to do now is you want to do the flower and cactoid hunt, because doing that hunt lets you do the patient in the desert side quest. Complete that side quest to get the Baryon Passage key. And now we want to go inside the Baryon Passage. This is why I got those black guards from those tomato pumpkin heads, where the fuck they are, because the black guards gives me some defense power against these toads here. If I didn't have those black guards, these toads would be like killing me in like 1 or 2 shots each and every single time, and it'd be very, very annoying. With the Demon's Bane swords and the black guards, eventually you can kill these bastards and get them out of the way, because they are going to be annoying if you don't kill them. Of course, you could probably just spam your quickies to do this, but I don't like using quickies that much, unless I'm fighting Disma. Anyway, while we're in the Baryon Passage, we're going to get the Deathbringer, of course. I'm pretty sure most of you already know how to do this. You have to spawn this rare mimic thing here, and keep stealing from it until you eventually get the Deathbringer, which is the 3rd strongest one-hand sword in the game, but it has the death effect too. And actually, once you get this, you can really quit. But there's so much stuff that we can get right now. With the Deathbringer out of the way, and I want to fight these other mimic things over here, you can steal iron ore from them, and if you can kill them, they drop it sometimes. Now we can leave right now, but before leaving, there's something I want to pick up. We're going to go to the Zephyr spawn, or what the fuck it's called, and we're going to get at least 3 syllabus Milter. This thing is really, really broken at this point in the game, because it has a magic resistance of 50. 50 magic resistance after getting the Dawn Shard. That's actually more than enough for the rest of the main game. Unfortunately, you won't always get it, so you're just gonna have to run back and forth until you get the damn thing. It might be best to just save at the Teleport Stone, then keep going back and forth until you get 3 of them. This will really, really help. Of course, you're gonna need a lot of license to use this thing in a Deathbringer too, so make sure that you're killing all those weak wolves and so on and so forth in order to get license points. You might want to consider chaining Dustia in the Western Sand, because Dustia is a rare monster and it gives off a lot of license points, of course, and it's easy to kill that guy with Phoenix Downs and use the glitch to do it over and over again and level up and get a lot of license points. Anyway, sell those iron ores, those string roots, and those water crystals to get your Ame No Murakumo, the 3rd strongest katana in the game. Attack power 7 to 8, not bad. Nowhere near as powerful as the Deathbringer and the Zodiac Spear, but still pretty damn good. Now we can take out some monsters we couldn't take out before, like these Hubbers for example, who give out 2 license points instead of 1, usually golden amethyst of course. They drop stolen magicites, but you probably already had these from those pumpkin heads. Those giant slaving things, they have the giant tainted skin. I think these Hubbers have it too, but I'm not sure. But you want to get the stolen magicites and the giant tainted skins. I forgot to check how many you need, but you don't need too many of them. Next we're gonna go to the Centaurian caves, and we're gonna fight these insects here. These guys are still too strong for you, so don't fight more than 2 or 3 of them. Fight like maybe 1 at a time, but do not fight these bastards if one of them eats another one. If that happens, you get the fuck out of there. Anyway, keep fighting these guys until you get your insect husks. Now we can make the Platium Gear. We're going to use this to work our way up to even stronger equipment. Now, some of you probably think that the Dawn Shard sucks because it reduces your MP to 0. However, this thing is pretty useful in certain situations. Do not forget that it increases your magic resistance by 20. That's a lot of points. Combine it with the Syllabus Milter and your magic resistance is 70. So with the Syllabus Milter, the Dawn Shard, and the Platium Gear, we have 47 defense and 70 magic resistance. If you need to heal, use high potions. So what can we do with this? I can use this to tank all those hits from those fucking undead monsters in the Baryon Passage. The thing is, those fucking dead bones, unfortunately, they annoy your invasion. It doesn't matter how high your evasion is, they penetrate it. This is why I need strong armor so I can take their hits. I couldn't do this earlier because they hit pretty hard and my defense too low, but now I got some really strong armor. I can use this to reach even stronger armor. Like the dragon armor, for example. This is the 3rd strongest heavy armor in the game. The dragon armor after getting the Dawn Shard. Look at that. Now let's get yet another somewhat powerful weapon for this point. We're going to get the burning bow and the fire arrows. The fire arrows are really easy, of course. All you need is fire stones from the hyenas. And now we need quick fangs. Fortunately, there is a way to get quick fangs right now. You have to do the Wyrm Lord hunt. The Wyrm Lord hunt. Then go to the dragon and steal it from him. It's that simple. But it is a hunt must. So what you want to do is you want to zone out and do it again until you get them all. I forgot exactly how many you need. I think it's 2. I don't know. Alright, now we're going to try to get the burning bow. Now I'm warning you, getting this will be a pain in the ass at this point in the game because unfortunately it's a 1% drop from these giant birds. So naturally you want to build up a chain. But that's going to take a long time because there's only what 2 or 3 of them here. What you want to do is you want to kill all these wolves first. Build a level 4 chain. And by the way guys, before doing this, make sure that you buy a staff and magic based armor so you can increase your magic to increase the chance of you doing break and berserk and disable. Speaking of which, after you build up a high chain, you want to use berserk and disable on these giant birds. Use both of them if you want to. The reason why I want to do this is because unfortunately these sons of bitches love the kamikaze when they get ready to die, and it's really annoying when that happens. I hate when they do that shit. So they're not immune to stone, so after you do that, you want to stone them. Then sit on their ass and wait for a while, and eventually the stone will kill them. And within their luck, you'll get the burning bow. Remember, it's a 5% drop, so it's going to take a long time unless you get lucky. I got it on the second one. The burning bow by itself really isn't that good, but when you combine it with the fire arrows, it can be just as strong as the Artemis Bow. Not quite as strong as the Sagittarius, but sometimes a little weaker and sometimes a little stronger than the Artemis Bow. Okay guys, now we're finally gonna go after the Zodiac Spear. Unfortunately, you're gonna want to kill the Bond King before doing this. You don't necessarily have to kill the Bond King because you can enter it from the north part of the Nominee Jetlands, but that's a much farther walk, and I'd rather not do that. So you gotta kill the Bond King first. You're probably gonna have to spam it quickly to do this. If you got that strong armor, then this won't be too difficult, which is another reason why I got it. When you finally make it to the ship, you know the drill from here, right? Just run all the way to the Zodiac Spear, pick it up, and get the fuck out of there. Now, normally you guys be dying over and over and over and over again because you come here with only your main gosh and a shield and pretty much the weakest armor in the game. But this is why I got the dragon mail and the syllabus Milter, because it gives me defense to tank these hits, and I won't find myself dying over and over and over. I don't have to worry about switching power moves, using Phoenix Downs, and worrying about getting to the exit before I get a game over and stuff like that. And I can have just like one party member out, and I can tank a lot of hits. I can actually make it to the Zodiac Spear and leave without getting KO'd a single time sometimes. It's very possible to get the Save the Queen Great Sword, which is attack power 100, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to either grind a lot of tough items from the sunken ship, or you're gonna have to spend time chaining a powerful red monster, and I don't want to do either of those, so we're not gonna worry about that. But again, get the Zodiac Spear and get the fuck out of there. Now, we're not quite done yet. There's still a lot more stuff that we can get right now. I'm only going to get a few more. I guess I will indeed leave my original commentary from 2 years ago of this video for the final section, just so I can show you guys why I'm glad I didn't upload it then, and how I said okay, alright every 5 or 10 seconds. Why I did this, I don't know. I guess it was just a bad habit, but oh well. We're not done yet. Now that we have the Zodiac Spear, we have some serious, and I mean some serious offense. Now we can tackle enemies that we couldn't tackle before. There's a certain accessory that I want to get, because I'm going to need this if I plan to get my next Mystic Armor, okay? I'm going to take my Katana here, and my Zodiac Spear, and my Deathbringer, and I'm going to take down these dragons here in the Sagittarian Caves. However, do not, I repeat, do not fight these fuckers in the international version until your stats are uber, because you will die in 2 seconds. These guys have been taking some serious steroids in the international version, okay? And anyway, once you change these guys, you might get a Cameo Belt, okay? You need this in the, you need this, okay? because parry is very annoying, and you definitely need this thing in the international version. Okay. You can get a Cameo Belt at this stage of the game in the international version in the Bahrain passes. It's a 25% chest where the save crystal is across from the east. Okay, so and of course you can get it from zone in one screen away, so you'll get it in no time. Okay. Now that I have the Zodiac Spear, the Ame No Murakumo, and the Cameo Belt, and with the Death Beam, of course, I've got some really strong weapons now and some strong armor. So now I have a score to set with these bastards here in the Nominees Deadlands. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make the Demon Shield, which is a very, very good shield. Okay. It's gonna be kind of difficult to make because we have to farm a lot of loot to get it. Okay. These horses here have Destry Barding. Ooh, nice 4-hit combo, baby. Excellent, excellent. Ooh, I love katanas. I love how they combo. These guys, I've been fighting them for a while, as you see. Once you chain them a lot, you'll get like the Destry Barding, which is a, I think you need like what, 8, 9 of these to get it. I don't know exactly how many you need, but I'm probably gonna get about 10 of them. Okay. And while I'm fighting these bastards, I'm gonna. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, that's another thing I wanted to get. I wanted to get a defender. See. Once again, there are a lot of strong weapons that we can get at this point in the game. I wanted to get that for a Bosch, okay? Not as strong as some of the other weapons, but just another alternative for those of you who think using 6 of the same weapon is cheap. Okay, now that takes care of the defender. Now let's take care of the Demon Shield. This is gonna be tough because of this thing right here. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Oh! That didn't take as long as I thought. It was luck. Okay, that took about what? 2 minutes to get. Okay, normally it'll take about an hour to get that thing. I just lucked out. Okay. Yeah, in my LP it took me about what? It took me about 2 hours to steal that damn thing. Okay. Anyway, naturally it's a 6% steal. You need that to make the Demon Shield. Okay. I lucked out there. I really did. Now keep in mind that these bastards here are still pretty tough with flattening with that crap right there. Oh, nice combo bait with that crap right there. So, and you can't use the save crystal because you want to chain them, so you can get a lot of Destry Bardings. Okay. So after getting the that thing, I need to learn how to pronounce this stuff really good. I'm gonna have to email my friend. There we go, a pseudo Destry Barding. You want to chain these guys for a while so you can get a lot of these. I think you need about 8 or 10 of them. I don't know exactly how many you need. And I have 1 Ace Turtle Shell. You need 2 of these, but if you make this katana that I'm using, you should have sold about 20 of them by now. Don't have it? No problem. Conveniently, these giant turtles here carry the Ace Turtle Shell. You don't have to kill them. You can just steal it from them. And conveniently, they are weak to wind. So, but if you have this katana, you should have at least 2 Ace Turtle Shells. There's just no way you're gonna get this thing without getting Ace Turtle Shells. Okay. But if for some reason you don't have them by now, just go ahead and kill this guy or steal from me. You'll have them before you know it. You only need 2 of these, and it's very easy to get them. Nice combo. See, these things combo more than you think they do, even without the Gadget Gloves, okay? And they also carry the Scarlet types, which we'll need later on to make the torso. Now, this area here is extremely dangerous. It's actually suicide for this point in the game, unless you level up like I did. This is actually the sole reason why I chose to get the Cameo Belt at this point in the game, because I want to steal the second best armor at this point in the game. It's not going to be easy because unfortunately it is a rare steal. Yeah, that alone tells how frustrating this is going to be. But you got to fight these dead bones, and these dead bones are pretty strong. They have their safety passive thing, so they never miss with their physical attacks. All right. This is why I got the Cameo Belt, because you're going to have to fight your way out of this, because you're going to be completely surrounded. You aren't going to escape in time. So you're going to have to fight. Alright? You will have to fight here. This is the sole reason why I got the Cameo Belt before coming here, because these guys parry your attack almost every time, and it's extremely annoying. Basically, I try to steal as fast as I can, then I steal it. Then after I steal it, then I attack him like crazy. But you have to fight here. You have to fight. You have no choice. The Dragon Mail will nerf their attacks a little bit, and it'll give you some surviving skills. give your partners time to heal you and so on and so forth, and give you time to heal that golden Skullcap. It's rested, but there's so many of these bastards here, so keep at it and you will get one eventually. But you need strong equipment to do this, because these guys are not a joke. They are everywhere and they keep coming. But this is actually a good place to level up. If you got the Zodiac Spear and the Cameo Belt, you can actually level up here really, really fast. Die! But they keep coming, as you can see. So be very, getting the Celebrant's Milter at this point in the game is already godly, but if you get a golden Skullcap at this point in the game, then you've just broken the game completely. I mean, you aren't going to feel the magic attacks for a very long time. I mean, come on. I'm just, you know, if you're sick like me, then go ahead and try it, okay? There we go. Now, how about that? The golden Skullcap right after getting the Dawn Shard. The second strongest Mr. Helmet. Isn't that just broken completely? It's a 6% chance to steal this thing, but there's so many of these guys, so... And I can't put that on yet. The hell I can't. I'm going to put that on. Let me see. I am going to put that on. Where is it? It's, can I get to it? Which one is it? Oh, there it is right there. Okay. Ash, can't put on yet. Penelope, yep. Okay. Alright, so she is set. Penelope is set. Pretty much for the rest of the game now. See that? Look at that. Golden Skullcap, Dragon Mail, Deathbringers, Syllabus Mitchell. I can get. I'll let them wear that while my main team wears the big ones, because I'm gonna steal 2 more of these. I'm kind of greedy now. I'm greedy. I'm gonna get 2 more. Okay, when you sell all that stuff, you get the. Before doing that, I don't know. The British guy has a lot of errors because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I got this thing without the monograph. The War Gods band, I could have sworn it was a poach and a monograph drop, but I didn't have the monograph and I still got it. So the British guy is just wrong. Anyway, you sell that, you get the Forbidden Shield, which is the the Demon Shield at this point of the game. Pretty broken, okay? Alright, so now you don't necessarily have to do all that to get to the Zodiac Spear, but getting the Dragon Mail makes it easier because you know you don't have to worry about being KO'd in one hit, okay? Okay guys, and that's actually the end of the first part. I haven't recorded anything for this movie since then, which was about 2 years ago. So I'm gonna have to record it now, which means I'm gonna have to play through the game again, and that makes me kind of happy because I want to play Final Fantasy 12 again. I missed this game. This gives me a reason to play the game again. But I'm gonna be playing the English version, and I'll occasionally show things in the international version from my old LP because I can't play the international version right now until I get my my swap magic back. Okay, my equipment right now is actually strong enough for the rest of the main game, but as we're playing through this, through the main game, I'm gonna show you how to get like all the other best stuff as early as possible, as easy as possible. I will indeed try my very best. I will try my absolute very best to show every method to obtaining these things, but there will be a few exceptions. By the way guys, I am going to assume that most of you are indeed playing the English version, so only if it's really important I'll note the changes in the international version. For example, the diamond armlet in the international version, the diamond armlet can be attained at the beginning of the game. I mean like right at the beginning of the game, but you're gonna have to fight foes that's kind of tough at that point, so just be careful. I think it's like a 25% chance or something like that, I don't know. And also in the international version, this thing blocks thunder attacks, which is very helpful. One thing I've got to note guys, by now if you did all that early level grinding, getting all the best weapons and stuff like that, you should have all the you should have enough money to get all the monographs, but I never did actually tell you how to get them, so I'm going to tell you for those of you who don't know. This is the first one you want to get. Get the rest of them later, but this should always be the first one you get, the Hunter's monograph. In order to get this one, all you gotta do is you have to complete the let me see. Where's my beast in there? You have to complete the hunt for. Man, I haven't played this game in so long. Oh, I am gonna be totally rusty because I have not played this game since my LP of the game. Anyway, you have to complete the hunt to this guy. You have to complete that hunt and then talk to the guy. Then go to the bazaar and it'll be in the bazaar and you can buy it, which isn't difficult to do at all. Alright, next you want to get the nice monograph. To do this, all you have to do is just talk to any weapon merchant 30 times. The War Maze monograph, you have to read the hunt bulletin 20 times. The Maze monograph, you have to talk to any magic merchant 25 times. The Scholars monograph, you have to talk to any armor merchant more than 15 times. The Dragoons monograph, you have to read the hunt. You have to read the hunt board 40 times. And finally, for the Sage monograph, you have to talk to any merchant like 100 times or more. This is only for elementals, so don't worry about this too much because we aren't gonna deal with those guys until we're actually strong enough to kick their asses. So, which won't be for a while, unfortunately. Well, you can pick the small ones, but I wouldn't fuck with the big ones right now if I were you. And you are gonna see one eventually. Alright guys, before we get this show started, I want to say that at this point it's actually possible to get the second strongest gun. But the thing is, the big fire elemental is kind of hard to spawn. Not only that, but it's still a low steal rate and low drop rate, and you're guaranteed the Salamandra Hawking later on in the game if you do a certain side quest. So I just be patient and wait out. The next thing I need to do is I need to correct something. You don't actually have to fight those behemoths or anything else to get teleport stones. You can simply buy these on the ship. If you take the ship going flights to Nabina, you can shop here and get teleport stones and Gissa greens, and that's really, really helpful because you're going to be using this a lot, trust me.
Look at the Magicite. These mines much resemble the ones at
Alright, now let's get started. From this point forward, I'm going to assume that you have all the monographs. No reason why you should not have all the monographs. You need every monograph to do this. Okay? You got them? Alright, good. Now that we reached the headmines, we can get our next ultimate weapon, the Scorpion Tail. A lot of people go for this first. What you want to look for is these two little insect machine spider things, whatever the fuck they are, I don't know. They're basically souped up mimics from the Bohemian Passage. They have a monograph drop of charge gives it about what is it, 10-15%? I'm not sure exactly what it is. Just kill them, and if they drop it, then keep going. If they don't drop it, reset and try again. You need 3 of them, but hopefully it won't take too long. The next thing we need is Scorpio Gems and Worm Bones. Now conveniently we can get both of these in the very same area, the Sagittarian Caves. Whether or not you can get this in other places, I'm not sure. I know you can get the Worm Bones in the Great Crystal, but you can get the Worm Bones and Scorpio Gems right here in the case, so we're going to do that. The Scorpio Gems, don't worry about that. You can simply steal it from these demons, and sometimes they even drop them when you kill them. The Worm Bones, on the other hand, are going to be a pain in the ass. The thing is, it's a rare steal from these dragons, and it's a 10% monograph drop. So what you want to do is you want to try stealing from them first, and then you want to kill them and see if you can get it. So you might get lucky and get 2 of them in one monster. This is going to take a while, unfortunately. It took me about 30 minutes to get one time in my LP. Now it might be easy to get the Worm Bones in the Great Crystal because it's easy to zone here. And there's like one room that has like 2 of them and another one that has 3 of them. So you can just keep zoning and fighting these dragons over and over again until you eventually get it. But that's late in the game. You gotta be real strong to go down there. Conveniently, while you're doing this, you can be stealing from this Esper here because this is gonna take you a while to get your Worm Bones. And you're gonna do a lot of zoning, so might as well do your stealing of your Hierarchana while you're doing that. And you can also be fighting these boogies to get the Death Power to try to get your Ultima Blade. I'm gonna try my very best to give every ultimate weapon some use. There are 3 exceptions, unfortunately. The Grand Mace, the that mace that does bubble. I mean the measure that does bubble, and the Danjario dagger, of course. Other than that, I'm gonna try to give every other weapon some use. As for the Scorpion Tail, it should be clear obviously what this thing's uses is, because sometimes it just does just massive damage. Unfortunately, it's very, very inconsistent. Sometimes it'll do 9,999, and sometimes it'll barely do double digits. So, but this is a great weapon if you get it early on in the game. When you get to the hand mines, this is a great weapon if you get it that early. And let me tell you something right now. As's victory pose while holding this thing is really, really, really sexy. Alright guys, once you complete the hand mine story, you know, when you get that little key that lets you pass through the damn jungle, you can actually take a detour in the jungle to the Feywood and use that to get to the Prime Reef. And the funny thing about this is, you can actually use this to skip the boss in the jungle. Isn't that funny? Oh well. Anyway, now we're going to make the Artemis Bow, which is the second strongest bow in the game. If you want to make it early, this is how you do it. What you're looking for is these two little rabbit things, these moves. They have a 6% monograph drop of the moon dust. There's another way to get this thing, but it requires that you steal it from a boss, and that boss is late game. You gotta do half the shit in the game to get there, so we're not gonna worry about it. And these guys use confusion a lot, so just watch out. Now, unfortunately, there are only 4 of them in the entire Feywood, so yeah, this and the monograph drop is only 6%, so this might take a minute. Unless you're good at RNG poaching, which I am not. Alright, now we need Great Serpent's Fangs. Fortunately, this is kind of easy to get. There are plenty of snakes here on the highways. The monograph drop is not that low. They're really easy to kill, of course. You might have already gotten a few of these, like, by accident, during storyline or whatever. Conveniently, there are a bunch of hubbers nearby, so while you're killing the snakes with the Great Serpent's Fangs, you can also be fighting these hubbers for a shot at the Beast Lord Horn to make your Sagittarius Bow later on, when you get your moon rings and stuff like that. Alright, and now for the hard one, the Salifi Hauken, or whatever the fuck it is. Now, unfortunately, this one might take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, depending on your luck. We have to steal it from the big giant wind elemental, of course. Now, there's supposed to be a way to manipulate the weather and get any weather anytime you want to, but I'm not good at that, so what I normally do is I just zone over and over again until I get the weather. However, once you get them to come out, it's as good as yours with a little time and patience. Do not kill it. What you want to do is you want to steal from it and then zone back over here, then come right back. It'll automatically come back and it'll have a steal item again. Keep stealing from it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually, you will get the shit. If you kill it, you're going to have to zone 2 screens where it may come back instead of 1. I guess if you're high level, you might want to try looking at stealing and then killing it. It might be possible to abuse the RNG and steal it all the time. But the thing is, it constantly casts like Shell, Protect, and stuff like that, and it's moving all over the level. So you're going to eventually run into monsters, and that's going to mess up the RNG, so yeah. This guy does also drop it normally sometimes. Well, not normally, it's a rare drop. But if you keep zoning it and respawning it and killing it over and over again, you might get a drop from a chain if your luck with stealing is really, really horrible. I don't know. I don't recommend fighting these guys at low levels But in most cases, if you can beat one, you can beat all of them. Because they're all pretty much the same except for the elements. But fighting them at low levels is kind of suicidal. Now the Artemis Bow isn't that strong right now, but later in the game it can be quite effective if you use the right buffs and the right ammo. Okay, now we're gonna go after the strongest gun, the Fomalhaut or whatever the hell it's called. This is a really good weapon, of course. Now, unfortunately, if you want to get it as early as possible, which is now, you're gonna have to do the Ant Leon hunt, and I don't know exactly everything needed to unlock it. So I guess maybe it only becomes available at a certain point in the game. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but oh well. But anyway, now this hunt is really important because this hunt gives you the Sight 3 key. And not only that, but this hunt unlocks Gilgamesh later on. So, in other words, without this one hunt, you can't fight Yazamet. You can't get this. You can't get that. You can't get a second copy of Masamune. And this, see, the hunts are really important. You need this hunt, do that hunt. You need this hunt, do this side quest. You need that side quest, good. Do this weapon, and so on and so forth. It's just really unfortunate that how one hunt can fuck up the whole game. Anyway, trying to beat Anteleon at this point is kind of suicidal, but if you collected some strong armors and weapons, you should be okay. You don't have to kill it to get the treasure chest behind it, but you know, might want to go ahead and get him out the way because you probably aren't going to get it on the first try, and you're going to have to zone to get it to come back. Now, a lot of people have no trouble getting this, but for some reason, it took me about 3 hours to get this to the point where I said I'll just wait until I actually get the damn thing, and then I'll put that part on screen because it took me a long time to get this. And note that you need to do it without your diamond armlet. It's in the room where you fought the Anteleon. Now there are actually many other ways to get this thing. There's one in the Pharaohs, but I don't like this one because the game loves to taunt you with one gill and a knot of rust. If you choose to get this one, watch out for that fucking magic pot. Trust me. Make sure that your allies attack monsters that are weak to holy only, because that magic pot will fuck you over. Trust me. There's another one in the Hem Mines, but I don't like this one for 3 reasons. One, because you need 10 Easters to get down there. 2, it's a 40% chance, and even then you might get it and you might not. You need your diamond armor for this one. And 3, it is a 40% chance, and unless you beat Zodiac first, it's going to take a lot of walking to zone this one if it doesn't appear when you want it to. So yeah. In all honesty, the best way to get this thing late game is to abuse the RNG in the Saber Step. There are 2 chests in the Saber Step that will give you give you the gun with the diamond armor. If you abuse the RNG, then you should be okay. There are 2 good methods. There's a 5-hit combo method and there's a killless method. The killless method is much better, but the 5-hit combo method does work for those who can't use the killless method because you need Excel to use it. More info on this later. Of course, guns are useful, very useful. It's just that I didn't like them because they're so damn slow. But after using them for making this movie, I say that they're really not that bad. After you add Berserk and Haste, they're actually not so slow anymore, really. So, and of course, they got different elements. Everybody knows how guns work by now. The damage is based on solely by the attack power of the weapon. So it doesn't matter if your character is at level 99 or at level 1. It would do pretty much the same damage every time they attack. Of course, you can increase damage by adding Bravery and Berserk, which in most cases will result in 8,000 or 9,000 with the Fomalhaut gun. There are a few exceptions, unfortunately, like Protect, of course, when monsters do things, special things to increase their defenses, kind of like Yazamet does halfway through the fight, and those elementals. And things like elementals and flans and bombs, unfortunately, they don't take a lot of damage from guns, sadly. But overall, guns are really good. I'm sorry, guys, but you're going to see me do this a few times during this movie because I really love this girl's walk. I mean, I told you, I don't know what the designers were thinking when they created her, but she's just ridiculously sexy. Really sexy. Anyway, we're not done with the Steel Shrine just yet. Conveniently, while we're here, we can go ahead and get started on our next ultimate weapon, the Sagittarius Bow. Activate this hidden passage here. Now, you want to use your Thief Cuffs naturally because you're going to do a lot of stealing in this room. These Oilings here, they have the Sagittarius gem. It's a rare steal, unfortunately, but there's so many of these little fuckers here that you will get them eventually. I think you need about what is it, 4 of them? Yeah. You need 4 of them. Now I know how to do the RNG to manipulate stealing, but unfortunately I can't change the numbers on the Microsoft Excel right now. So if anybody knows why I can't do that, please tell me. Maybe it's my laptop, I don't know. So like I said, even though it's a rare steal, there's so many of them here, and you're moving the RNG down constantly, so eventually you will land on the road that gives you the rare steal. If you spend a good dedicated 10, 15, maybe about 20 minutes, you have this before you know it. For those of you who don't want to do it this way, I'll show you another way later on, how to get this item. Now then, this is very, very important. This is Shield number 2. You have a chance to get a dark matter, unfortunately. If you use a diamond armor, it's always a dark matter. Now, if you sold your first Shield, I highly recommend that you save and reset before trying to gain this one. If you sell both of your Shields, or you don't get a Shield, you have to gain this one, then you're going to have to get it the hard way. And we'll talk about that later on. I normally don't leave this place until I get all 4 of my Sagittarius gems. But if by some fluke I do get annoyed, I have another way of getting this, so we'll talk about that later on.
The new evil lease holds no place for the name-down masker. The stain of Wraithwall's blood shall be washed clean from history's weave.
Once again, guys, if you have the if you took time to get the Zodiac Spear right after getting the Dawn Shard, you really don't need to do all this other stuff, because the Zodiac Spear and some heavy armor like the Dragon Mail and so on and so forth gives you more than enough power to actually beat the game. So you really don't need to get anything else. I'm just showing you how to get these things as quick as possible, if it's not too much of a headache anyway. The Fawn Coast. Now that we made it to the Fawn Coast, we can get yet another really powerful weapon, the Ultima Blade. It's going to take a little time, but it's worth it. There's actually quite a few things that we can get upon reaching the Fawn Coast, but we'll deal with that later. The first thing you want to pick up is this key right here from the Ant Leon hunt. This lets you fight Gilgamesh second fight and so on and so forth for the Masamune. And what I don't understand is, why didn't that dude pick that key? I mean, seriously, he did not see that big shiny gold key sitting right next to him. He just did not pick it up. I mean, come on, dude, what the fuck? You might have missed out on a good treasure or something. Anyway, in order to get the Ultimate Blade at this point in the game, you're gonna have to cheat the game just a little bit. And I really think the designers put those rocks there to block you, but they didn't consider the fact that a chocobo can go over it, so oh well. The first thing you need to do is ride chocobo up to the Titular Uplands, or however the fuck you pronounce it. This path is pretty straightforward, so let me edit this out. Okay, now this is where things get just a little tricky. It's kind of like a maze here, especially if you don't have a map. So for your convenience, I'm going to show you the full route to get to the Celebrant step at this point in the game on your chocobo. Alright.
Hustle up with the greens and let him go. Stand back, stand clear as he puts on the show. So you get fierce and see from hell. I can't tell yet, I don't even want to know. So you want to be a trailblazer, kicking dirt like a hell raiser. Take the reins but don't react slow, it's time to feel the force.
Okay, as you see, you have just enough time to get there. I recommend saving your sprints for when you're going to be running straight for a while, so you don't have to worry about turning and missing a turn and going to the wrong door and stuff like that. Now, this is where you use your chocobo to ride over these rocks. The designers specifically put that there to stop you from going here at this point in the game, but they forgot to prevent a chocobo from doing that, which is kind of funny, but oh well. And doing that, you reach the Celebrant step, a level that you're really not supposed to be at unless you're, equipped pretty good. The port at Bethlehem without an airship. Isn't that awesome? Alright, let's see. Let's go into town and buy all that lovely broken magic and broken equipment. Alright, let's go. Wait a minute. Damn, okay, let me. Come on, can I just like jump over you guys or walk between you and this big space here? Or come on, man. What the fuck? What's stopping me from going to town? Can I just like jump over this bag or whatever? What the hell, man? Come on, what's stopping me? Apparently, the designers must have realized at the last possible minute that it is possible to get here at this point, so they specifically put this here to stop him from going in there. I see no other explanation because they specifically put those rocks there to stop him from going, but they didn't know that the chocobo would go over those rocks, so that's why I bet they put this here at the last minute. In any case, once you reach the Celebrant step in one way or another, now we can get the Ultima Blade. The first thing you want to do is get a couple of how you pronounce it? Adamantines or adamatites? I don't know. There's actually a couple other ways to get this, but this is assuming that you want to get it as soon as possible, or you don't feel like getting it the other ways for some reason. These giant turtles here, they have it as like a 8 or 10% monograph drop. I'm not sure. Conveniently, these guys are weak to wind, so if you didn't get the Zodiac Spear, you can use this wind katana to help be a little faster. But they aren't that hard, especially if you got the Fomalhaut. You need 2 of those. After you get those, now you want to go back to the Mask of Western Sand. Yes, you guessed it. We have to fight the big giant Earth Elemental, sadly. But at this point, we're not going to be fighting it, even though we can indeed beat it right now. We're not going to fight it. We're just going to steal from it. What I normally do to try to bring this guy out is, I told you I have a hard time manipulating the weather. What I normally do when I want to spawn this bastard, I simply zone here in the Zatarian caves and the Mask of Western Sand over and over and over and over and over again until I eventually get my Tyranitar Sandstorm. Yes, I kind of miss Pokemon. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to my Pokemon fever. Anyway, once you get the Sandstorm to eventually pair out, the item is good as yours with a little patience. And I think that if you actually kill that boss, that big dinosaur boss, I think if you kill him, you'll get less sandstorms. Anyway, just like the wind elemental, all we gotta do is keep stealing from this guy over and 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 over again until you eventually get it. If you kill it, you have to zone 2 screens away for it to come back. When you finally get that, go into the Zatarian caves and get your death powders from the boogies. If you didn't already get a few of these while you was down here farming the worm bones and the scorpion gems to make your scorpion hammer. And while you're down here, you might as well go ahead and take care of the easy Espers so you can get 3 or 4 Espers so you can get a high Arcana later on if you don't already have 3 of them by now, which you should if you're stealing from this guy. And it might take a little time, but eventually you will get that thing from that big giant Earth Elemental. Sell the rest of it, and there you go, the Ultima Blade. Now, according to guys, it's actually possible to steal a death powder from this boss here in the cave, but I've never been able to do that. There's another Ultima Blade in the Pharaohs, but that's late game, so I'm assuming you want one before then. Some people do indeed prefer the Ultimate Blade over the Tourneol for the simple fact that they don't have the time or patience to get the Tourneol. In the English version, by the time you add Bravery and Berserk on your attacker, the Ultima Blade will still do 9,999 to pretty much everything, so you don't necessarily need the Tourneol. It's just there, really. One last thing I want to note before we continue to Arcades. Once you make it to the Celebrant step, at this point, it's actually possible, very unlikely, put that in quotes, it's possible to get your hands on a diamond armlet. And if you get that, you can then get a holy rod, assassin arrows, ribbons, and some other cool stuff like another Fomalhaut, Maximilian. You can get some pretty cool stuff, but it's going to require that you spawn a 10% chest and then somehow get a diamond armament. Then you got to get rare items out of other chests. If you're good at the RNG, this might not be too difficult. But considering the fact that I'm not, well, I am good at it, but I can't use it because my Microsoft Excel isn't working properly right now. But it's actually possible to get a diamond armament in the uplands, and then you can take that and get some really cool stuff like ribbons and stuff in the service step, which will really break the game at this point. But we're not gonna do that right now. It is possible, but I think I'll pass. No, thank you. And you can also get a shell shield this way too. Just thought I'd note that.
Smells less like a capital, more like a sewer.
Now that we're in Arcades, we can try to get the second strongest gun. You might already have it if you somehow got the Salmon Hiking from the Big Fire Elemental in the Sand Sea. Please tell me that you did this side quest with Julie to get a free one. And I kind of forgot to record it, but here in Arcades in the magic shop, it should be right here waiting on you. If you have the route, should automatically give you a free one. And I think the designers realized how annoying it was to get it, which is why they made this side quest. For those of you who fucked up and decided not to do this side quest for whatever reason, we gotta get it the hard way. Okay, I finally got the son of bitch to spawn. It took me about an hour. I read a pretty good tip on YouTube. Apparently, most people, when they're trying to spawn this guy, they enter it from either here on the airship or down here with Teleport Crystal. But someone said on the internet that if you enter it from the western sand and go this way, he'll spawn much more often. I don't know if that's true, but he spawned the first time I tried this way. When I tried to get him to spawn down here, he practically never, and I mean never, came. So anyway, this is the clear sky, obviously. Now comes the hard part, stealing the item. I'm probably not gonna worry about getting this on camera since I already got the goddamn thing. But I'm telling you, this is definitely the most annoying element to spawn, because the thing is, unlike most elementals, oh, I got it too! I fucking got it. I don't need it, but that was pure luck. I'm telling you, that was pure luck. So I'm glad I got that on camera, because that was just pure luck. But unfortunately, unlike most elementals, this one doesn't immediately respawn after you leave the area. It has like a 50% chance of spawning, so you just have to walk around and see if it's there. And it's really, really annoying to spawn this one, especially considering the fact that the area is kind of big and it's kind of complex, and there's two different areas that he can spawn. So yeah. So guys, for fuck's sake, I highly recommend that you do the Julie side quest to get a free one of these in Arcadia. Because if you don't, then you probably aren't gonna be able to get this weapon, because this thing is really hard to get otherwise. Now we gotta get the Wyrm Fangs. Now it's actually possible to get this thing at like the very beginning of the game. You're gonna have to activate the hunt. Remember that dude in the in Rabbit Nestor, the one that wants you to hunt that dragon, and he gives you a shell shield. That monster actually has a red steel, the Wyrm Fang. But considering the fact that it's a red steel and you got a lot of room to zone, we're not gonna do it that way. Instead, we're gonna spawn this bullcroc thing here. This red monster down here in the Osmo Plains. I think it's like a 20% chance for him to spawn every time you enter it. Whether or not you have to kill all the monsters, I don't know. But you just have to kill him first, which shouldn't be difficult. He's not that hard to beat. There you go. After he dies, you just sit here for a little while, and the next monster automatically comes. This red dragon here. Now, it's a rare steal for him too, but it's all he has. So, you keep stealing from him, like all rare monsters, and eventually you will get it. Now, this is actually the easiest way to get this item. For some reason, this red monster here, I don't know why this is, but this monster shares the same fate as Dustia, Helvenic, and other teleport monsters. After you kill it, if you leave the area before its body actually disappears, y'all know this trick, right? You simply go right back in there. And I really hate the loading times that this thing has. It just takes far too long for this stuff to load stuff sometimes. Anyway, I say, if you kill it before its body disappears, leave the area, you go right back in, and it automatically comes right back, just like the other monsters. And it has this item as if you never killed it before. So you can steal it again and again and again, but I think you only need 2 of them. For those of you who have bad luck with red monsters, or you don't want to do it this way for some reason, you can fight these giant dragons in Lucian Mines. There's a couple of these in the Pharaohs as well, and they have the Wyrm Wing as a monograph drop. I think it's 10%. But the ones in the Lucian Mines are very powerful, and the ones in the Pharaohs, it takes a long time to get to them, so I prefer the ones in the Ozma Plains. And for fuck's sake, guys, while you're down here, if you happen to encounter a bombshell, please steal a mallet from it. Finally, you need a Yinsa fin. Naturally, you can only get them from these Yinsa fish things. You have to like be close to the bridges or close to the sand. It's a monograph drop, I think. There's like 2 or 3 of them in every area where there's like a bridge. With a little time, you'll get them eventually. There's a Yinsa and a Bull Yinsa. They both carry the Yinsa fins, so just keep walking around here until you eventually get 3 of them. It shouldn't take too long. Unless your luck is really, really bad. Now that we have both of the guns, let's start collecting some of the ammo for the guns. Starting with the Aqua Shot, and this is the only way you can get it, unfortunately, through the bazaar. You should have enough water stones and green liquors by now to make the Aqua Shot. If for some reason you don't, the flans here in the Bahamian passages conveniently drop the water stones and green liquids. There are many ways to get these, but this is the easiest since he drops both of them. Those very same Yesa monsters who drop the Yesa fins also happen to drop the Yesa scale. So while you're getting the Yesa fins, you can also get your Yesa scales, and that won't take too long. And sell it, and there's your Aqua Shot. Alright, now we're gonna go after the Mud Shot, which is Earth Elemental. One of the 2 Earth Elemental attacks in the entire game, I think. I think there's only 2 of them. Now, there are a lot of ways to get the items needed for this, but personally, I prefer to get it in here in the Nabadese Jetlands for 2 reasons. One, because for the simple fact that everything you need is right here in this one area. For starters, the silver liquor can be gotten by these black flans here. These flans are also in the Ganshma waterway when you fight that Esper. I think a few other flans have it too, but this is the easiest way to get it because it's not that strong. Next, the Ichthon scales can be gotten by these neutral fish here. You can steal it, and it even drops when you kill it. Very, very easy. Now, if you got the Ultima Blade, you should have more than enough Earth Crystals. But if for some reason you don't have them, these giant turtles here conveniently drop Earth Crystals. And as I said earlier, there are 2 reasons why I prefer to get my items here. Because while you're doing this, conveniently, you may get a Scarlet Turtle 3. You know what this thing does, right? Now, some of you may want more than 1 Mud Shot because it is a pretty good ammo, because there are some annoying monsters who happen to be weak to Earth. There's a treasure chest in the Celebrant step. It's in like the middle of the area that has a chance to contain a mud shot. Unfortunately, the thing is the chest is 50% and then the item is like 10% if it's an item. So it's gonna be kind of annoying to get this thing to you know, be here. It took me about an hour to get this. Trust me, it's gonna be annoying to get it. Conveniently, in this very same area, there's another chest. It's like in this little ditch here. This chest happens to contain fire shot. Now you can actually get the fire shot at the beginning of the game. What you have to do is you have to do the little cat car hunt, the flying cat car, and then you have to do the side quest that's active after you do that. You know the little cat car family shit. And then when you complete it, that little cat car will give you 1,000 gil and a Wyrm fire shot. So that's the earliest you can get it. And those are the only two ways to get that. But we're not quite done with the Celebrant step just yet. There's even more ammo here. By the way, these giant birds are kind of annoying, but they are weak to the mud shots that we just picked up. You'll do 9,000 with the Fomalhaut and 8,000 with the other gun. This chest right here contains a silent shot. So silent shot isn't bad because it can be helpful sometimes. So for those of you who want to, you know, get more than one silent shot, then this is the only other way to get it, I believe. Now, there should be no excuse in hell of why you shouldn't already have one silent shot other than you accidentally sold it. Because during the main game, you're going to fight easy monsters who pretty much drop the loot that you need to make the silent shot every time. The only one you might not have is the fish scale, those little magical flying floating fish, because they're neutral creatures. But still, the loot is really easy to get. We're still not done with the Celebrant step. Yes, you're gonna spend a lot of time here. Our next ammo is the wind shot, the wind slasher shot, whatever the hell it's called. These giant dragons in the Celebrant step, they drop the ring scale that you need to make it. And while you're here, even though there's a much easier way to get these flying birds also happen to drop the wind crystal. You need these too. I've already talked about the silver liquid, that black flame, and nowadays that's the absolute best way to get this. Although you can get it from a few other monsters. Alright guys, now we're gonna make the stone shot. You need Libra gems, mirror scales, and tyrant bones. We're gonna start with the Libra gems. Most of the wolf and coral species carry these in some form or another. It's usually rare. The best way to get it, in my opinion, is to steal it from the Silver Lobos and the Fawn Coast or the Celebrant step. Because it's really easy to get if you steal it from these guys. But considering the fact that Cerebus and his little dark brother, they both have it as a rare drop, so you will get them eventually. Now for the mirror skills, the mirror knights naturally, and their souped up cousin, the Dread Guard, are the only monsters in the entire game that have a mirror scale. I think there's another way to get one of these, but it doesn't matter when there's so many of these bastards here. And if you run to the Dread Guard, you can steal it from the Dread Guard, but no need to do that when there's like what, 10 mirror knights in here, and the monograph drop is not that low. Note that the mirror knights also have the wind crystal if you haven't made your wind shot yet. So just note that. And now for the tyrant bone. This one's a little tricky. There are only 3 ways to get it. The first way to get it is by getting it from the Wild Zanarian, which is indeed the method we're going to be using. What you have to do is you have to come to the Damascus Escutcheon. There's only 2 of them here, and it's a 10 or 12% monograph drop. If it doesn't drop it, you're gonna have to zone for a little while, or just simply reset the game if you're close to save crystal. Some of you might be unlucky to run to the Terratata. If that happens, just go ahead and take care of him so he doesn't get in your way. The Terratata is kind of tough, so make sure that you bring that wind shot if you got it. Now, even though this is until very late in the game, this is the absolute best way to get this. The best way to get it is to steal it from that super dinosaur. You know, the big hunt that you gotta do the race for, that you get the Grand Mace. It's pretty easy to steal if you use the thief cuffs, and after you steal one, just go back to the pharaohs and go right back in there, and you can steal another one. You only need 2 of these, so this is the best way to get it. The only other way to get this item is to get it from that optional boss in the Damascus Escutcheon. I mean the Western Stand, but that's a rare steal, so fuck that shit. Fuck that. Okay, now you can't necessarily activate these rare monsters as soon as you get to the Fine Coast. You have to they want you to kill one of their fixed monsters first. What you have to do is you have to spawn that giant turtle in the Fine Coast. I'm assuming most of you already know how to do this. For those of you who don't, there are plenty of YouTube guides, there are plenty of Game Fest guides, and I have a full movie completely dedicated to every rare monster. That's a 3-hour long movie. Note that you can indeed steal a nugget of adamantine from this monster, and once you kill it, it's gone for good. So if you haven't made your Ultima Blade by now, you might want to do that. Anyway, after you beat that guy, now you are officially a member of the Hunt Club, and from this point on, you'll see rare monsters that can only be fought once. But some of them carry really important loot, so make sure that you steal the loot before you kill them. We can get all kind of good loot now, but I'm gonna make every weapon separately for your convenience, so that the movie isn't too confusing. And note that you can't actually do this until you beat those tomato heads in the cave. But personally, I don't do this until I beat Sid in Arcturs, because it's kind of a long walk back from the cave, and you can simply teleport after you beat Sid. Anyway, guys, with this out of the way, our next weapon is going to be one of my personal favorites, the Sagittarius Bow. Now, this thing is a pain in the ass to acquire because of the moon rings, and for that reason, I highly recommend doing this hunt first, because, as I said, you are going to do the hunts eventually, and some of the hunts give you items that you actually need to make some of these ultimate weapons. Like this is, for example, the ringworm. This monster is kind of tricky to spawn, but once you do indeed spawn him, just go ahead and take him out. He only comes out in the sandstorm. He has a lot of hit points, so if you take him on in the beginning of the game, you might have some trouble. Anyway, after you beat that guy, return to the petitioner, and he will give you a free moon ring. I highly recommend doing this because this item is a pain in the ass to get. Now, we need 2 more moon rings, and your method of acquiring it depends on how fast you want to get this weapon. If you want to get this weapon as soon as possible, which is after you beat Sid, then we're going to do a little side quest first. The first thing you need to do is you need to do the side quest in the highways so you can fight the Eastman. I'm assuming you all know how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, then look it up on the guide or watch my LP. And by the way, if you fight this guy early, it's going to be kind of tough, especially considering the fact that you can't use items. So just watch out for this son of a bitch. And as with all Eastmans, you want to be trying to steal it from him, so you might get a high Arcana. After you beat that Eastman, from this point forward, a ash worm will take its place for the remainder of the game. But this ash worm does not respawn in the area until you reset the game or leave the area completely. If it doesn't drop a moon ring, reset the game and try again. Make sure you save at the near save crystal. For those of you who don't want to do it this way, you're going to have to wait until you get to the Great Crystal, the second layer of the Great Crystal. There are a few ash worms here, and it's actually easier to get it this way because you don't have to reset. It's a lot faster to zone here. But note that these guys are much more powerful than the ones in the highways, as well as other monsters down here too. So this is the best way to get moon rings, but this is until late game. So yeah, the moon rings like a 6 or 8% Monographs drop, 10%. It's a pretty low drop, so this might take a little time depending on your luck. Also note that the ash worm just happens to drop the Koga Blade for those of you who want to use ninja swords and you're having a hard time getting a Yagi Dark Blade. Now with the moon rings out of the way, this weapon isn't necessarily difficult to get anymore. I've already talked about the beast little horns that you get from the hubbas, but for those who skipped it, I'm gonna show you now. You get there's like 3 of them here in this room, there's 4 in another room, there's 2 in the other room before this one. So the monograph drop is not that low, so it won't take too long. I've also talked about the Sagittarius gems and the Steel Shrine of Mayhem. There's so many Olings here. It's a rare steel, but there's so many of them here. You will get them eventually. But there's actually an easy way to get them. In the Navadis Dreadlands, those Fubers, you know, those black flames, they actually have it as a 30% steel with the thief cuff. So this is actually the easiest way to get it. And of course, while you're here, you can get other stuff as well. So yeah. Now bows are pretty underrated. I like bows because they can attack with elements, and we're gonna get those arrows right now. For starters, we're gonna get the best one, well the second best one in my opinion, the Artemis arrows. You need dorsal fins. You can get those from those fish in the Deadlands. Remember those guys? A couple of red fish have it too, but no point in getting it from them. We can get it from this guy, and the post and the monograph drop is not that low, by the way. This one need Gemini gems. Pretty much all the behemoths and all those headless knights. Pretty much all those guys have it. It's best to steal it from them with a thief cuss. They drop it too, but I rather steal it from it. It'd be a lot faster. Finally, we need vampire fangs. Now this one might be trouble considering the fact who you have to get it from. You have to get it from those souped up bats in the hen mines. There's a few of them in the Shogun Palace, but you've got to do a pretty lengthy side quest and a few hunts to get to that. This assumes that you want to get it early as possible. You have to enter the hen mines from the Feywood, and there's like 2 or 3 bats in here. But if you do at this point, you might get your ass handed to you, so just be very careful. Use bubble or do whatever it takes to kill these guys. They might drop a vampire fang. The monograph drop is not that low. If you wait till later on in the game, you can get these a lot faster. But you gotta get like what 10 experience and stuff. Yeah. But as you can clearly see, you really aren't supposed to be fighting these guys yet. So make sure you bring your Zodiac Spear, your Sleep Spell, your Deathbringer, your Ultima Blade. Bring all your strongest stuff and do whatever it takes to kill these guys, because they can kill you very, very quickly. Bamboo arrows. Ah, come on, you really need help with this. No way you're gonna kill all those flans without getting water magicites and yellow liquid. That's just not gonna happen. Bat fangs, well, I guess you might not have these considering the fact that you have to steal it from the bats, and I think it's a rare drop or like a poach or something like that, but still, they're not hard to get at all. Just steal it from the bats and lose your mind. You have them before you know it. Same thing with the fire arrows. All those hyenas in the gizzard plains drop fire stones, and all those bats in the hen mines drop crook fangs. I already showed you how to get this at the beginning of the game if you want to get it early with the burning bow. But note that this is the only way that you can get fire arrows. It's the only one in the entire game. So whatever you do, do not sell it, because you never know when you might need to attack with fire. Now, unfortunately, I can't say the same thing for the Ice Cloud arrows. This thing is hard to get for a reason. It's not hard to get, but it is kind of annoying. Let's start with the easy one, the spiraling sectors. You will have these. I mean, you probably got about 100 of these because all those bats in Lucian Mines and those souped up bats, they drop it too, so we ain't worry about this one. Ice crystals, on the other hand, you might not necessarily have these unless you were specifically hunting for them or hunting certain monsters. For example, those demons in Sagittarius caves, they got ice crystals, so you might got these while he's trying to get the scorpion tail. But do not worry, if for some reason you can't find ice crystals, you will get them in the Feywood, I can assure you. Now for the annoying one, the Antarctic Wind. Now this is the one that's going to keep you busy for a while, depending on how you went about it. There are only 3 ways to get this shit. The first way to get it, of course, is the rare monster. I forgot what it's called. It's a souped up crocodile thing. It's in the Gashmir waterway. It's a rare hunt trophy monster, which means if you kill it, it's gone. This is actually the best way to get it. Steal from it, and then leave and re-enter it and respawn them again. But what if you killed them? If you killed them, then you've got a problem. In your case, you got to go to the uplands and you got to fight this feral croc. Unfortunately, this is the only one here. If that wasn't bad enough, the monograph drop is only 8%. So yeah, depending on your luck, this might take a while. Yeah, that took me about 20 minutes to get one. Later on in the game, if you haven't gotten your 2 Antarctic Winds by now, you can do the Catablapis hunt. Doing that hunt automatically gives you 1 Arctic Wind, so that will make it a little easier. And that hunt conveniently also gives you the Volcano Handbombs, which is the strongest handbombs in the game. Lightning arrows. I recommend you get this one because it comes in handy against a certain hunt later on in the game. There are 2 ways to get it. There's unlimited use, fortunately. The first one is the rubber bunny hunt. You have to do the hunt in the village with the rabbit-eared women. Then you gotta go to the jungle, find the rubber bunny. Beating this thing early is kind of hard because it always runs away. It pairs a lot, and it's pretty damn fast. But anyway, after you finally beat it, just go back, claim your reward, and there's your lightning arrows. Very, very easy. The second way to get it is not so easy because guess what? Yep, right here again, the fucking saving step. And you know what? 50% chest my ass. I mean, it took me 10 times of zoning to get this treasure chest to appear. And every time it did appear, it was usually Gil. Oh well. Anyway, this chest here has a chance to contain lightning arrows. You can get them anytime you want to. I usually get 3 of them from my fight with Fafnir. I'm still in the main game at this point, and I can get a lot of stuff, but let's move this along. Let's go to the Feywood. And while we're in the Feywood, let's go ahead and make the Orochi. We're going to steal castle gems from these giant insects who also happen to conveniently carry the single blades when you kill them. But it is a Monograph drop, so it might take a while. There is a rare monster in the game that has it, but I wouldn't bother considering the fact that there's so many of these fuckers here, so you will get them eventually. Not only that, but you only need 2 of them, and the Ant Leon Hunt will give you a free one, so you really only need 1. And while we're in the Great Crystal, let's fight these cores for a shot at a core Wisker or 2. There's plenty of them here, so that shouldn't be a problem. What's that? You didn't get your core Whiskers and you don't feel like going all the way back down there? Well, no worries. There's actually a rare monster in the uplands, the souped up core, and you can steal a core Whisker from him. But if you kill him, then you gotta go back in the Great Crystal. Sorry. This is the second strongest ninja sword in the game. A lot of you got this so you can use it against Yazamat, but later on we all found out that Masamune's is much more powerful. Before leaving the Great Crystal, we're going to chain these bombs for a shot at the diamond armlet. We need this, of course. If for some reason you don't have the time or patience to do this, then you're going to cup up a lot of gil, and I'd rather not do that. After Ash gets the treated blade, you can go to Damascus Escutcheon and do a seed diamond arm for 20,000 gil. And that is kind of a lot, so I'd rather chain the bombs for a free one. Now that I got the diamond armor, there's a few things I want to pick up. For starters, in the second step, if you want to, you can get multiple copies of your favorite ammo like Stone Shot, Wind Shot, Ice Arrows, and so on and so forth. There's another Fomalhaut there. There's a Dark Shot there. There's all kind of good stuff in the second step. Most of them can be acquired by other means, so we're not going to worry about it. However, there's 2 of them that I really want to get my hands on. The Assassin Arrows and the Ribbon. Unfortunately, getting rare items out of chests with the diamond armor in most cases is just hellish as hell. I mean, it's like a 5% chance for it to be the item that you want. Fortunately, people have cracked the RNG of this game. There are many movies on explaining how the RNG works. There's actually 2 methods. There's a 5-hit combo method and there's a kill list method. The kill list method is much better than the 5-hit combo method. However, the kill list method requires to use Microsoft Excel, and for some reason I can't get it to work on my computer. I used it before, but I can't get it to work anymore. I probably need a new computer or something. But anyway, I'm not going to explain how the RNG works because it'll make the movie even longer than it's always going to be. I will need post links to the description on how you can find out how to do this. And by the way, guys, very important for those of you using the 5-hit combo method, you have to actually turn the system off and turn it back on when you're trying to get a new item out of the chest. Basically what's going on here is every action you take in the game, everything that happens in the game moves the RNG down a certain number of steps. Like for example, when you attack yourself or when you attack an enemy, the RNG moves down by 10. When a monster spawns, the RNG moves down by 1. When you switch screens, the RNG moves down by 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't know. Everything, enemies doing spells, you doing spells, casting magic, switching screens, stealing, picking up loot. Everything in the game that happens moves the RNG down by a certain number of steps. And whenever the RNG lands on a certain line, that will determine what happens. For example, if the RNG lands on the line that has level 99 chocobo, the next time you spawn one of those chocobos, it will be a level 99 chocobo, and so on and so forth. Like when the RNG lands on the line that has every steal, when you steal on that line, you will steal everything, including the rare item, and so on and so on and so forth. If I was using the kill list method, I could steal rare items anytime I want to. I can poach rare items anytime I want to. I can get Monographs drops when I want to. I can farm the level 99 chocobo when I want to. I can do pretty much anything with the kill list. Unfortunately, with the 5-hit combo method, I am locked to only getting rare items out of chests, which isn't bad at all, really. As I said, there are plenty of things in the 7th step that you want to get your hands on at this point, but there's only 2 of them that really concern me. First off, we're going to get the ribbon. And for those of you who are convinced that this does indeed work, I'm going to get another one. And now we're going to get the assassin arrows. There are 2 free ribbons in the game, so don't worry about the ribbons, and there is 1 quiver of assassin arrows in the game. But personally, assassin arrows is my favorite ammo in the entire game, and I love to get at least 2 of these. Some of you are probably aware of the Cure List movie I made a while back. I kind of accidentally deleted it off of YouTube. However, as I said many times, I save each and every single video that I make. I even use footage from my old LP for this movie. I guess I'll show you some footage from that Cure List video that I made a while ago featuring the level 99 Chocobo.
2030, please. Thank you. Now we have 2130, and look at that. The level 99 Chocobo is right under that. See that? This is 2130, okay? There we go. Alright, let me pause the game. So now the next action I do will move the RNG down by 1 row, okay? Okay. Spawning a monster moves the RNG down by 1. So when I spawn that next Chocobo, it's gonna be a level 99 Chocobo, alright? Alright, let's go. This is why you want to kill that snake, because you don't want that snake interfering. Now when that Chocobo comes up, and there we go. There we go. Level 99 Chocobo, just like that. Now, isn't that some awesome shit right there? I told you. I don't know how these dudes came up with this, but okay. Now, it is said that you have to. Okay, first of all, let me say. Okay, 1964. See that? Red steel. All right. Now, it is said that you're supposed to do it like 2 rows up or something like that. But the way it works for me is I have to steal on the line with the red item. Okay. That's the way it seems to work for me. I don't know if the model of your PS2 changed that, but that's the way it works for me. And let me get this up. Okay, so now. Come on now, damn camcorder. Come on, I am running out of time here. My bad is about to die. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, see this? I am not using the thief cuffs. I am going to steal a Imperial Soul from that level 99 Chocobo. Yoink! Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie, and I'm going to kick his ass for it.
So guys, as you can see, the Cure List method is really effective, but unfortunately I can't use it because my Microsoft Excel does not work. So I'm stuck with the 5-hit combo method. But it's all good, because I pretty much already got the loot I need anyway. One good thing I do like about the 5-hit combo method, after you get your rare item, if you cast Cure 1 time, and then open another chest before you get hit or before they attack you or whatever in some form or another, you'll get another rare item. So that's actually 2 rare items in 1. And don't forget that you have to actually turn the system off every time you reset this. So yes, nothing is random in this game. Everything happens when it's supposed to. What's that? You still not convinced? Come on, how much more proof do you need? Alright, very well. As I said, guys, the Cure List method is much more effective than the 5-hit combo method, but some of you are going to be unable to use the Cure List method for some reason or another, because you know, it's locked on your computer, or you don't have the necessary programs to run it, and so on and so forth. In that case, you're going to have to use the 5-hit combo method. It's a little slower. You're going to be turning the system off a lot, but still, this is your only other way. And by the way, guys, I will indeed be using this method to obtain Brave Suits and the Hand Mines, as well as the Zodiac Spear. Now the 5-hit combo doesn't always work. There's like many different lines. Not all of them lead to a rare item. Eventually, while you're doing it, if you realize you're not gonna get a rare item, you're gonna have to turn the system off and try it again. Another problem with the 5-hit combo method is that you're gonna be spamming the immobilizing stop glitch of monsters, and sometimes you are going to be able to do this because the chest might be like right by the door. In that case, you'll be forced to kill the monster or something, moving the RNG down even more, and you might lose your spot on the RNG. The kill list method is pretty much foolproof. It practically never fails. It's just that you have to use Microsoft Excel to use it. Now, I'm not too sure about this, but in some cases, the RNG of the game is indeed determined by the model of your PS2. My model is 712. Some people say that they can't get it to work. You probably have a much older model or a much newer model. I don't know exactly how that works, but in some cases, this stuff is indeed determined by the model of your PS2. Naturally, this only works on the battlefield because Vaughn can't attack himself when he's in the towns and stuff like that. Which means for those of you who want 3 of those Uber shields, you're going to have to get the 3rd one the hard way. Because there's another one of those shields in the port of Bethlehem, but you know you can't do the combo there or do the cure list there either. So you're gonna have to keep your setting until you eventually get the shit. There's supposed to be even a way to control when the treasure chests actually appear. For example, the Zodiac Spear in the hand mines has a 10% chance to appear, right? But when you use the clear list method, you can actually get it to appear anytime you want to, believe it or not. Unfortunately, I don't have the kill list, so in my case, I'm gonna have to keep trying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until I eventually get the chest to appear. Once I get the chest to appear, it's as good as mine. Sitting there attacking yourself looks kind of weird and stupid, but it pays off, as you can see. It's gonna seem really confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it and learn how it works, it's really easy, and you'll be pleased with the results. Alright, now let's go get our second set of assassin arrows. I don't think you can do this until after Gear Vegan. I'm not sure exactly when you can do it. It is pretty late in the game. You have to activate the hunt. Before doing this hunt, however, I need to note that once you do this hunt, snowstorms are very unlikely. So for those of you who want to make that one-hand sword, you might want to steal this item now before doing the farewell hunt. It might take a while, so hang in there. Now this mustard would normally be pretty tough, but I already told you how to beat this thing in my LP. Really easy. And by the way, guys, he only comes out during a snowstorm, but if you enter the level from the town, you'll practically get a snowstorm every time. And after you beat him, you receive the assassin arrows. So that's 2. When you got 2 berserkers wielding assassin arrows, the outcome is very delicious. You'll be surprised with the results. I told you, bows are very underrated. Alright guys, next we're going to get one of my most personal favorite weapons in the entire game, the Excalibur. This thing is really useful. It's back in the Great Crystal, unfortunately, the upper layer. You can't do this until you finish the storyline in the Great Crystal where Ash receives the Treaty Blade. I recommend activating the hunt down there before you go there in order to save time. This hunt happens to give you a dark shot. If you want more, you gotta get him a 7 step, which might prove useful against your Yasmet fight for those of you who want to use guns. Now, if you come here under level, you might have a problem because these guys do hit pretty hard. I recommend making a few ultimate weapons and getting the Zodiac Spear and Ultimate Blade before coming down here. Assassin arrows if you can get from the 7 step. It's very confusing down here. I recommend, unless you've been here millions of times like I have, I recommend that you go to Game Facts and look at the guide, the map. There's a very well detailed map on Game Facts. It tells you where all the treasure chests are and everything. It's very well detailed. You will not get lost if you read that map. This chest has a chance to contain a Sage's Ring. You will most likely get a Knot of Rust, unfortunately, or maybe even 1 or 2 gil. However, there's another chest hiding behind it. That chest is 20%. That chest contains the Excalibur. If it doesn't have the Excalibur, you need to zone away like 2 or 3 screens, then come back and try it again. Those who play the international version, this would be a Yagu Dark Blade instead. This is hands down one of the most useful weapons in the entire game, simply because it attacks with Holy. That doesn't sound like a good thing, but the thing is, later on in the game, I say about 90% of the monsters you fight, they're all weak to Holy. all of them. So your attacks will most likely do 9,000, and it gets even stronger if you have the white robes on, because it powers hold the attacks. Unfortunately, the damage limit is 9,999 in the English version. However, if playing the international version, I highly recommend a knight just so you can use this weapon. And that reminds me, guys, in the international version, the Excalibur is in the room where you fight Ultima. So you have to beat it before you can actually keep it. But the good news is, in that version, it's 100%. It will always be there. Alright, continuing with the main game now, we're going to start heading to the Pharaohs. At this point, there's pretty much no weapon that you can't get. But before going in there, we're going to kill all the monsters here in this area. And once we do that, simply go right back in. And you will see this souped-up green horse from the Sagittarian caves. Simply steal from it until you eventually get the Gatrophetes or whatever the fuck it's called. This just happens to be the strongest crossbow in the game. And naturally, of course, you guessed it, yes. You gotta get all the ammo. I gotta do it for your convenience, for those who want to use this thing. Alright, black bolts. This one isn't too bad because it blinds the opponent. Unfortunately, you can only get one. Spiral and scissor, we already talked about that, and the reason why you can't get it from the best and Lucian mines, who also sometimes happen to drop dark crystals. Speaking of dark crystals, pretty much every dark-based monster in the game will drop this normally, especially the wolves in the Feywood and the dead bones in the Nabi's Deadlands. Silver liquid. Yes, this again. Unfortunately, you need silver liquid for 3 different types of ammo. For that reason, it might be a good idea to make all of them together. If you make them separately, which will be the case in most situations, you're going to need a total of 11 of them. So what you might want to do is you might want to chain this one Fuber over and over and over again, because it's really easy to zone 2 screens away and come back and kill him and only him. What that does is, since you're only killing this monster, when he drops silver liquid, you might get like 3 or 4 of them, which will save you a lot of time. Lead bolts, which isn't necessarily a bad one because of the immobilize ability. You get your first one by doing that dark steel hunt in Arcades. This hunt also happens to give you a adamatite, so if you haven't made your Ultima Blade by now, this might help. And if you want more lead belts, then you're gonna have to get it in a separate step. Without your diamond armor, by the way. Long bolts. Crook fangs, we already talked about this one. All those bats in the hidden mines, no problem there. Yellow liquid, we talked about this one too. All those jellies in the hidden mines, no problem there either. Ice stones, you might not have this one because only a few monsters have it, but you can simply steal one from this wolf, so no problem really. And of course, there's a random chest and silver step that will give you one. No diamond armor needed, fortunately. And you know what, guys? I really hate these fucking chests and silver step because not only are they 50% spawns, but they usually contain gear when you find them. It's really, really annoying. Unless you abuse the RNG, of course, but that's not always easy to do because there's so many monsters here, especially those goddamn birds. Sap Bolts. Now, this was kind of late in the game, unless you abuse the RNG to get one in the celebrant step. It's a rare item, so you're going to need your diamond armor, unfortunately. Come on, guys. Please don't tell me you still don't believe that this stuff works. Anyway, if you only want one of these, then don't worry about this too much because you'll automatically get one after you beat Ixon, the elite hunt. And by the way, guys, Ixion is kind of tough, so make sure that you bring those rubber suits or whatever you need to absorb lightning damage in some form or another. Speaking of the Ixon hunt, after you beat Ixon, you automatically get the Ragnarok Blade, which is okay, but no thank you. It's just not strong enough for my taste. Stone Bolts. Now, this one's pretty good. It causes disable. Unfortunately, there's only one in the entire game. Ice Magicite. Ice Magicite. You know where to get those, right? Festin Flesh, Steel, the Steel Shrine. I'm pretty sure you got these. All those monsters in Steel Shrine, drop it. You should have these, trust me. Bundle of Needles. You get this by completing the flowering cat toy hunt. You finish the hunt, and then you take the dude's wife, the little flower thing. She gives you a bundle of needles, but you need to do a hunt to do that. If for some completely illogical reason you don't feel like doing this hunt, you're gonna have to kill all those little cat cars in the sand until one of them decides to drop it. It's 5% Monographs drop, so fuck that shit. Time Bolts. Now this one's pretty aggravating because unfortunately you need 9 holy crystals and those are kind of difficult to get. The first two ways naturally are the small holy elemental, but that one's rare, so fuck that. And the other way is the big holy elemental. You can steal it from it, and you can get it to drop it sometimes. You usually will encounter one of these things on your way down there when you get Vegan. The mist has to be like thick. If you like see a bunch of mist, then you'll know it's there. This might be the easiest way to get it because you can simply zone and make it reappear over and over again. Really? Seriously? What were the chances of me actually getting that? The second way to get this thing is by those giant golems in the ship in Nabades, what the fuck it's called. Only problem with this is there's only a few of them there, and after you kill them, it's gonna take a lot of walking to zone and bring them back. So that's gonna be kind of annoying. It might be a good idea to make sure that you get your holy crystals as soon as possible while you're in Gear Vegan. Ancient Bone, you need 3 of them. Even though it's a 5% Monograph drop, there's so many of these fuckers here that you will get them eventually, trust me. Wyrm Fangs, those flying dragons and Lucian Mines. There's a few of these in the Pharaohs. It's really easy to get. It's a common drop, it's a common steal, so if you haven't been to Lucian Mines by the time you go to the Pharaohs and the storyline, just go ahead and get them in the Pharaohs. Note that the ones in Lucian Mines are really tough, so just be careful down there. And of course, you guessed it, if you want more, you gotta get from running test and 7 step. This is a rare item, unfortunately, so you gotta RNG it. It's gonna be kind of difficult because this one's like not too far away from the door, so it's gonna be kind of hard to do the stop glitch on this one. It works, people. Grand Bolts. Now this one's kind of annoying because of Wrath of the Gods. We're gonna start with that one. You only need 2 of them. That's the good news. The bad news is they're both pretty difficult to get. The first way to get it is this rare monster in the Bahian Passage. I think it's like a 20% chance to spawn. It's best to save at the crystal and then go in there to see if he's there instead of zoning. If he's there, simply steal from it. It's a guaranteed steal, of course. It's a rare monster. Just watch out for that damn ghost that might pop out of nowhere. We'll deal with him later. Don't kill him yet. He's very important. For those of you who don't like that rare monster, your other option is to go to Lucian Mines with the Site 11 key, which means you have to do yet another hunt to get to this. Once again, the hunts are very important. There's a hidden passage north in one of the caves. You'll find about 4 or 5 or 66 of these little fake church chest themes. They have a monograph drop of Wrath of the Gods. Note that when they leech you, it really hurts, so you might want to kill these guys as quick as possible. It's very easy to zone 2 screens away and respawn them, so this might be the fastest method to get this item. Just watch out for Disma while you're down here, because Disma is very hard to beat. Now we need Capricorn gems. Pretty much every undead monster has it in some form or another. It's usually rare, unfortunately. However, the Skull Knight in the Primal Reef has it as a semi-rare steal. If you use Thief Cross, you steal it most of the time, so that's not going to be a problem. And I already talked about the Ringworm live with these giant dragons in the Celebrant step. You only need 2 of these. Speaking of the Celebrant step, yes, you know what I'm about to say. This one's on the far north map. There's actually 2 chests out there that will give you some Grand Bolts, so it's a rare item in there, so you know what to do. Okay, how many rare items is that in this video? About what, 15, 20 of them? Do you honestly think I would sit here and try to record me opening up all those rare items on camera if I wasn't sure that I was going to get it? Don't tell me you're still not convinced that this works. Back inside that first, we're going to work on our next ultimate weapon, the Whale Wisker. It's not that strong, but it is the strongest pole in the game, so I guess we'll go ahead and get it. Poles aren't bad. Unfortunately, this shit's hard to make because of the quartz flies. I don't care how long it takes, how many tries it takes. You save your game outside of this boss fight, and you go in there and you steal until you get it. It is a 30% steal with the Thief Cups. This is the easiest way to get this. This thing is hard to get, so do not continue until you get this. Now we still need 2 more. There's only one other monster in the game that cares, the Dragon Leech. Unfortunately, I highly doubt that you're gonna get these things during the main storyline, because thing is, there's only 2 of them in the main game on floor 62, and unfortunately, zoning these guys takes a lot of walking. I'm pretty sure you aren't gonna want to do that because this place is a giant maze. They also have a steal. What you want to do is you want to steal from them first. It's a red steal, unfortunately, and then you want to kill them to see if you can get a few. Most of you aren't gonna get this shit in the main story. In your case, just simply wait until you clear the pharaohs, then go to the second part of the pharaohs. There's pretty much at least 2 or 3 of them on every floor, and it's a lot easier to zone them here. So just keep fighting them until you eventually get your 2 core supplies. Mithril. Now this one isn't hard at all. You most likely got a few of these in Get Vegan. Those giant golems there, they have it as a red steel, as long as a 10% monograph drop. Okay, you didn't get your mithrils in Get Vegan. You don't want to go back down there. No problem. First thing you want to do is do the Roblin hunt in the Nabana Forest. This hunt automatically gives you 1 free mithril, so that'll help. Now, for those of you who don't know this, in the Sagittarian caves where this sage crystal is, there's actually a secret passage leading to a little small path. But I'm pretty sure all you know this because of the Catablabus hunt later on in the game. Anyway, you see these grenades over here? Simply kill all 3 of these bastards, or 4 of them, how many there are over there. Then you simply wait in the corner over here. Just wait, and wait some more. And eventually you'll see a red monster come out of nowhere. A red golem. And at this point, you know what to do, right? I should have to tell you what to do now. If you choose this method to get all your mithrils, simply save at the save crystal, then do it again, because I don't think he responds until you actually leave the area. Arcturs gem. There's actually a lot of ways to get this. However, you are going to spend about 3 hours in the Feywood, so you might as well steal it from the golems while you're here. It's a 30% steal, so it won't take long, and that's you want to kill each and every single Cerebus you may encounter. Now, the Wisker isn't bad at all. Unfortunately, it could have been much better. The thing is, unlike most weapons, this thing targets the opponent's magic defense, and normally this would have been a very cool and unique feature. Unfortunately, pretty much every monster in the game except for Flans have higher magic defense than regular defense, and that kind of defeats the purpose. This thing has the exact same combat rate and evasion as the Tourneol, so it's basically a weaker version of the Tourneol, and that's the best way to look at it. This is another one of those weapons that you want to consider using when you don't have the time or patience to get the Tourneol. Nobody really likes the Stone Blade because it's really not that good. Most of you made it by accident. It is the second strongest one-hand sword in the game, so I guess I'll show it. For starters, Chimera Heads and Taurus Gems. Both of them can be obtained by the Chimeras themselves. The Chimera Head is a monograph drop, really easy. It won't take long. And the Taurus Gem is a 30% steal with the Thief Cut, so that won't take long either. And the Orochi are from these red face things here. By the way, guys, those red faces, after you've killed about 10 of them, a red version of it will automatically spawn at the top floor. It's a guaranteed steal from him. Now, this thing actually has a chance to drop a ribbon, so if you happen to get a hot chain, then try your luck, but that dragon's going to be in your way. In all honesty, you're better off using RNG and the safer step to get a ribbon. And by the way, guys, while we're on the subject of killing these red things, naturally, you want to kill all the red ones without killing the green ones. You eventually make a red bridge here, which contains a holy rod. This is actually not a bad weapon to be attacking with. Speaking of one-hit swords, now that we're in the Pharaohs, it'll be a lot easier to make the Durandal, which is the strongest one-hit sword in the game. I said easier because you can actually make this a lot sooner, but you're gonna have to spend time with a dangerous red monster. We're not gonna do that. Instead, we're gonna go to this room here with all these undead monsters. There are a few Necrophebes here. With any luck, they'll drop a life wick. For those of you who don't get your life wicks here, you don't feel like going way back up there, which will be the case, unfortunately. Wait till you get to the second part of the Pharaohs. There are plenty of Gatrophetes here, and they use drop life wick for the Monographs drop. There's also quite a few of these in hit mines, but you had this weapon long before then. Now for the Emperor Scales, this one shouldn't be too difficult unless you're playing the international version. In that case, you really don't need this weapon. But the Emperor Scales are from these dragons in the Sagittarian caves. I think there's another way to get it, but it's really easy to zone these sons of bitches. So yeah, don't bother with any other method really. Finally, the Halcyon from the big ice elemental thing in the primary reef. And remember, guys, that after you kill Fafnir, the snowstorms become very, very unlikely. So you want to do this before hunting Fafnir. Remember, you're in the town, and then simply go down the mountain on a certain path, and you'll always counter 2, maybe even 3 of them. Just steal and kill it until you eventually get it. If you don't get it, reset and try again. You'll get it eventually. I guess powerful one-hand swords aren't bad. Using it with a shield sounds nice. But the thing is, later on in the game, most enemies ignore your invasion, so there's really no point in using a shield unless you want to absorb an element like the demon shield or something like that. So you're better off using black mask and a great sword or something, really. Okay, the Volcano, the strongest handbomb in the game. You only get one, sadly. We already talked about this one while we were making the Ice Cloud arrows. You beat the Cataplasmus hunt. I don't think you do that till late game. And just a little note, there's an unfortunate typo in the Brady's guides. According to the book, he's weak to dark and he absorbs holy. It's the exact opposite. He's weak to holy and he absorbs dark. Just thought I'd note that since he isn't necessarily the easiest monster to beat. Anyway, complete the hunt gives you the Volcano hand bombs along with the Antarctic Wind. Don't forget about that for your Ice Cloud arrows. What? Hand bomb ammo? Oh, come on, man. These things really suck. Alright, for those who want these hand bombs, I get all the ammo. Alright, the bombs. Let's start with the brute force one, the Castellanos, or whatever. I know I'm not doing a good job of pronouncing some of this stuff. Who really cares? Iris gems. This is actually kind of difficult. A lot of monsters have it, so you may have it in your inventory. But the thing is, it's usually rare in some form or another. There is a somewhat easy way to get these. That crocodile in the Ozma Plains. It's found in every area, I think, but it only appears in a certain area depending on what time your game clock has. Another way you might want to try getting this is the Mirror Knights in the Fadewood. The thing is, there's so many of them here, and even though it's a rare drop, it's not like it's a total waste because mirror scales and mirror mills can sell for a lot of money, as well as the Wind Slicer Peon. And of course, as I said, you are gonna spend a lot of time in the Fadewood, so might as well do that. And by the way, guys, as I said, bows are very underrated. Unfortunately, they're a lot faster than guns. They make excellent grinding tools because I mean, assassin arrows, and they have like what 4 different elements. They usually kill the enemies before they get anywhere near you. Then all you gotta do is just run and pick up loot. Anytime I'm grinding for bizarre items like Tourneol, for example, I always use 2 bows because all I gotta do is just walk around and pick up the loot and buff them up. Really. Bomb fragments. I shouldn't have to tell you where to get those. Frog oil, another annoying one, because thing is only one monster has it. Well, actually 2 monsters have it, but I don't think you want to poach a red monster. Fuck that shit. Those red toads in the Sand Sea and in the Sagittarian caves, they have it as a 10% monograph drop. If I were you, I would wait until you do the Bolento hunt, because the thing is, on your way down there, you're gonna run into about 10 of them, and that might save you some time, because you only need 2 of them. Chaos bombs. This one can be annoying if you didn't get it during the main game. If you didn't get it during the main game, you gotta go back to get vegan. Fire crystals. These things are everywhere, so this shouldn't be a problem, and you are gonna get them in the Feywood, of course. Those bomb bombs in the Great Crystal, they all drop bombshells, And they also drop fire crystals, by the way. They also drop bomb meshes. You're gonna need these in a minute. The main issue here is the Book of Oregon Scent. The only way you can get this is by the Reapers and the Great Crystal. Unfortunately, they don't always spawn. So when you get them, what you want to do is you want to steal from it first, and then try killing it. And keep in mind that the Reapers on the higher levels are pretty damn tough. So just watch out. They use death a lot. By the way, guys, when you make your Chaos Bombs, you will make the Poison Bombs as well, but you probably make the Poison Bombs first. Now for the Ore Bombs, you only get one the entire game. It should be clear, obvious what it does. I just talked about the Bomb Message and the Fire Crystals 2 seconds ago. Book of Oregon, there's most of the rare ghosts carry it. Their site has it too. But the best way to get this is by chaining Dustia using the glitch that teleport must have, and then just get it until you get enough of them. And note that you need this to make another set of bombs. So if you don't want to make them together, make sure you get about 5 or 10 of them, whatever. And the other type is the water bombs. You also need putrid liquid and water crystals. We already talked about water crystals. Those are giant turtles in the rains. You probably already have these. If it isn't raining or you don't have them for some reason, you don't want to go down there. Fight those horses in the pharaohs. They jump pretty often. As for the putrid liquid, those Malbara Overkings in the uplands, there's so many of them here that this is probably the best way to get it. You can also fight these bastards in the Goshen Waterway if you want to get them at the beginning of the game for some reason. Actually, water bombs might prove useful because this is one of the few water attacks in the entire game, and you do need water attacks to chain a certain monster later on. And while we're on the subject of Malbaros, the Carrot Hunt will give you a free putrid liquid if for some reason you can't get them in the uplands. I don't know why this should be a problem, but you're gonna do this hunt anyway because it gives you the stink bombs. Just watch out for that growing threat and those status effects because they can be quite a problem. And finally, we have the stun bombs. The only way to get this is to do the Bloodwing hunt in the Bohemian Passage. Whether or not you can still do this if you sell the Great Serpent skin, I don't know. But I wouldn't sell it if I were you. And while you're down there, just go ahead and take care of the easy Esper. Actually, it's not so easy. To this day, I still don't understand exactly how this Esper works. Sometimes he takes damage, sometimes he doesn't. And he does have instant different attacks, so I still don't understand how this guy works, but oh well. Apparently the Volcano is basically a long range version of the Scorpion Tail, so I guess it isn't too bad. As I said, water bombs might prove useful later on, so for that reason I guess I'll show you what it is in a savvy step. Yes, this again. Actually, this one will be kind of hard because it's right by the entrance, and you aren't gonna be able to do the glitch unless you come from the other side. But it's a long walk and the stop might wear off and stuff, so you might have to kill the monsters around you and see if you can still do it. There's also another one of those Castillos things. Actually, there's 3 different spots where you can get it, so pick whichever one best suits you. And finally, again in the 7th step, I hate this place. There's another case of poison bombs behind this rock over here. You don't need your diamond armor for this one. I guess hand bombs can be helpful in certain situations. They're okay. At least they're better than measures. Speaking of which, I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made these ridiculously stupid weapons. I mean, the positive effect is good and all, but what's the point in doing that when you can simply cast it, especially since it doesn't always work? And not only that, but the damn things ignore defense, so you're gonna take damage for your attack yourself regardless of how your defense is. Hey, so you might hit yourself 10 times before you actually activate the effect. If anything, the only one I would even consider using is the multi-scale because it does bravery, and you can't actually get that spell till you do a lot of hunts, and you might want this early on during the main game. Yes, I'm trying my very best to give at least one of these things some use. Maybe if they worked to 100% of the time and they didn't ignore your defense where you end up taking like 1,000 damage per hit, then maybe I give them a little more credit. But I guess the multi-scale can be kind of useful early on in the game. If for some reason you want these things, all of them can be bought by the end of the game, and the one that can be bought, you get it by doing the Wild Map Barrel Hunt, and there's a chest in the 7th step that will give you one, so yeah. Alright, and now we're gonna go after another useless weapon, unfortunately, the Rod of Faith. And let me tell you something, I am extremely disappointed in this thing, and I still say that this does not do what it was meant to do or what it was supposed to do. The Rod of Faith, when you first look at it and you first read it, it sounds like a really good thing, but unfortunately it's a giant measure. You attack one of your allies and they might be put in faith. This thing should have given the wielder permanent faith. I mean, come on. We have the brave suit that gives you permanent bravery, so why not, you know, have something that gives Magic permanent faith? I mean, seriously. But we'll talk about that later. On to the Behemoth King. Now, this is actually the hunt I hate the most in the entire game. The main issue I have with the Behemoth King is bringing son of a bitch out. You have to kill each and every single monster in both foggy places of the Feywood. But here's the thing. The area is so fucking big, the map doesn't work, so you're gonna constantly press the select button to find out where you are, and you gotta kill them in both areas. And the worst thing about this is the fact that it's so foggy you can't actually see the damn monster until you get right close to it. Now, this isn't necessarily too difficult because I mean, you're on the time limit, but the time limit is pretty long. But spawning this son of a bitch is really, really difficult. What's going to happen is you're going to find yourself walking around the whole level trying to find that one monster you missed. And by the time you find it, the time might run out, then everything come back. But anyway, after you finally spawn the son of a bitch, now you got to take him down. This is actually one of the hardest monsters in the game. The thing that makes the Behemoth King so hard is that he constantly changes his immunity. First he's immune to attacks, and then he's immune to magic, and then he's immune to attacks again. You're going to find yourself constantly going to the menu screen, changing your gamut setup, and changing your equipment to absorb holy and absorb elemental damage, and block off the slash effects, stuff like that. And not only that, but you take damage while attacking him, and that's kind of annoying. And by the way, he has over many hit points, so yeah, this might take a while. Now, don't leave the Feywood just yet. Since you spawn a Behemoth King, you should also spawn those 5 little onion, tomato, radish, pumpkin, whatever the fuck things they are, I don't know. What you want to do is walk around and look for a flash of light. That's them. They're usually around those pillars. But you need to be careful because if you take too long, eventually they'll level to 99. And at that point, it becomes practically impossible to beat them without spamming quicklings. Anyway, after you finally beat the son of a bitch, go back to the dude. He gives you a chunk reward. But what you have to do is you have to go back to this mountain place, take off Vaughn's weapons, strike this thing here, and there's a reward, the Rod of Faith and an assload of Gale. But unfortunately, I really can't find a use for the Rod of Faith other than the fact that it increases your magic points by a lot. Again, maybe if the faith hit worked all the time, then it wouldn't be so bad.
Now we fight!
Alright guys, it's finally time to go after the big boys. Yes, the Masamune and the Tourneol. We're gonna make the Masamune first. Alright, for starters you need 2 nugget of oily chalcums. We are talking about this, those are giant red face things. This shouldn't be hard at all. And by the way, this item isn't difficult to get, so if you want to make it separately from the stone blade, then go ahead. Next we need 2 mallets. There are 3 ways to get this. The first way to get it is by these bombs and the pharaohs. Unfortunately, it's only a 5% monograph drop, so I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. If you're up here, of course, go ahead and try to get it. Another way to get it is by beating the Bomb King in the Silica Wood. After you beat the Bomb King, the clan will automatically give you 1 mallet.
So no reason why you shouldn't have one already. So you really don't need to get one because you're gonna get this one. And the third way and the method that I recommend using is by stealing from Bonshare and Lucian Mines, where those two big dragons are. If you keep zoning in the caves here on the mine cart, you'll get the guy to come out and then just keep stealing from it. It won't take long. Alright, now gem steel, very, very important. Of course, you need gem steel for the Masamune and the Tourneol. For that reason, you need to make the Tourneol and the Masamune together, because if you don't, you're going to need 5 gem steel instead of 3. Now, unfortunately, some of you guys are going to be impatient. You know, you're going to be like, man, fuck this, man, I can't wait. You're going to make the Masamune before making the Tourneol, because the Tourneol does take a lot of time to make. And some of you are going to say, fuck the Tourneol, man, I ain't got that much time. I'll just sell for Ultima Blade. Which is okay. Alright, let's get started. Now, very, very important. If you kill certain monsters, you're going to have a hard time making this thing. Alright, first we need Scarletites. The absolute best way to get this is to zone here in the 7th step and make this red turtle appear over and over and over again. It does not take long to zone this monster. Steal it and do it again. Oh fuck, I killed him. Now what do I do? Well, if you kill this guy, unfortunately, you're going to have a hard time getting it. What you need to do is you need to go to the Nobby's Deadlands and get this giant turtle to drop it. It's a 6%, yeah, it's a 6% monograph drop. I got tongue-tied. And the other way to get it is by doing that fishing game, but fuck that shit. I hate that game. Alright, now we need the Master Steel. This isn't difficult. Most of you probably already have a few of these from the Boons and the Pharaohs. They drop it. It's a monograph drop. A pretty good way to get this is in the 7th step, next to the Sage Crystal and the Straw. There's a rare monster here. It's a trophy monster, so if you kill it, it's gone for good. It's a 4% chance to appear. Make it appear and steal from it, and do it again. But the simple, easiest way to get this thing is in the Primal Reef. What you have to do is you have to kill every monster here. I think is this the Frozen Brook or is the Glacier? I don't know. But you see where I'm on the map. Just kill every monster here and make this monster appear over and over again, and steal from it. You can do as many times as you want to. This is the best way to get this. It's going to take a little time, unfortunately, but it's guaranteed. Unfortunately, this shit is not guaranteed. This is the item that many people hate the most when they're trying to make Tourneol. The Hellgate Flames. I hate this fucking item with a passion. You got to get it from these Cerebus, but the thing is, they don't always appear. They sometimes replace the Black Hounds, and it's a 5% monograph drop. So, yeah, this shit's going to take a long time. Another way to get this thing is by poaching the werewolf in the main game. If you run to a werewolf, for fuck's sake, please poach it, because you might get lucky. The third way to get this thing is by stealing from Enkidu in the second fight with Gilgamesh, but that's just not going to happen. So if you haven't gotten it by then try your luck. Don't ask me how many times I had to try to get that on camera. And by the way, guys, apparently I'm still capable of doing the kill list. I have to use a backdoor, but I am capable of using it. Basically, I have to save multiple files for this item and that item and so on and so forth. It's going to take a little time and patience, but I highly recommend that you learn how to use this thing because it's really, really effective. And by the way, guys, a level 99 Turbo drops gem steel 9% of the time with the monograph. If you can kill it, son of a bitch, anyway. He also drops Ribbon Hierarchy. Another way to get gem steel is by getting a total of 8 E-Spears. After you get 8 E-Spears, the clan owner will give you a free gem steel. This isn't too difficult to do, especially if you've done the Pharaohs, because you have a total of 5 then you got the 3 easy ones, of course. Alright, now we're going to get the hard one, Imperial Soul. Now this thing is really, really, really hard to get if you kill certain monsters. First of all, after you do 28 hunts, you will get a free Imperial Soul from the clan owner. And you definitely want to do this, because Imperial Souls is not easy to get. Another way to get Imperial Soul is by stealing it from the level 99 Chocobo. It's a rare steal, unfortunately, letting on spawn the goddamn Chocobo itself. So unless you're good at the RNG, I don't even bother trying this one. And now we're gonna get the hard way through the bazaar. As I said, this is very, very important. If you kill certain monsters, you're gonna have a hard time making this shit. Start with this one. This rare horse here in the Sand Sea. You can steal a War God's Band from it. Just keep spawning it over and over again until you get all your War Gods banned. Oh fuck! I killed him. Now what do I do? Well, what you need to do is you need to go to the to the top of these Deadlands and fight these horses here. They have the War Gods banned as a 5% monograph drop. But one time I actually got this thing without a monograph, so I think the book has a typo. It might be a red drop too. If there's ever an important ingredient for making the Tourneol, it's soul powder. This thing is really important. For starters, the X-Tab hunt will give you a free soul powder. You need to do this hunt before you even try to get your Tourneol, because soul powders is hard to get, and trust me, you need to do this hunt. Now then, depending on how many hunts you did, you're gonna need 1 more soul powder, 2 more soul powders. For safety measures, I guess I'll go ahead and assume that you try and get this without doing all those hunts, because some people just don't feel like hunting. You need to spawn voids in a sunken ship, but unfortunately, you need the black elemental to spawn it. And stealing from him is a pain in the ass because of his attacks, his doom, his death, and those fucking goblins don't make this any easier. But in any case, you need to spawn this guy over and over again until you get your soul powders. Oh fuck! I killed him. Now what? You got a serious problem. Either steal and pierce soul from level 9 not Chocobo, or you need to go to the second part of the Hand Mines. Wait a minute. I need 10 Easters? Really? Okay, let's go after this big fat Easter in the sewers. That should be easy. Wait a minute. I gotta do the right moose hunt to get that. Damn. Alright, now we're gonna go after the Undead Eastman in the Biome Passage. This guy should be pretty easy. What? I need a Biome key to get in there? Okay, wait. I gotta do the patient desert to get the key? But wait a minute, I can't do this until I do this hunt. Damn. Alright, let's go after Ultima this time. Ultima's, what? She's in a great crystal. I gotta go way down there. Fuck this place, man. Where's the map? I'm lost. Finally got to Ultima. Alright. Man, she's hard to beat. What? No Templestone? You mean I gotta go way back there on foot? We're not going to talk about what you gotta go through to get the chaos, but the point I'm trying to make is if you don't steal soul powers from those voids, you're gonna have a hard time making this shit. Unless you're good at the RNG, you can steal Imperial Soul from level 99 Chocobo. Okay, yeah, you're right. I think I proved this point enough. It works. It may be best if you wait until you finish the fail storyline, because then you have a total of 5 Easters, and then you only need 5 more. You can easily get that. But if you do that, Redis won't be with you for the Hand Mines, and he definitely helps out. In any case, once you finally get Team Eastman somewhere or another, and now you can go to the second part of the Hand Mines and fight these team dudes here. The good news is, at this point, soul powers is easier to get because this cave is full of these bastards, and they drop it very often. But they are pretty strong, so just watch out. Now for the Submentarios, there are 3 ways to get this. The first way is by making it through the bazaar. Start with the snake skins. This is easy to get, of course, although this monster only comes out in the dry, so for that reason I recommend that you do this during the main game. There's some rare monsters who actually drop this later on, but fuck that. It's easy to get from this guy, seriously. Next we need Serpent Eyes. The Maya form will give you a free one, as I said earlier. No reason not to do this because you are going to do it eventually, so that's one less that you got to get later on. Now, I think a rare monster has it, but fuck that. We're just going to fight these snakes in the Feywood, if you didn't already get them by now. Personally, I got all mine when I was doing while I was spawning Behemoth King, because I had to kill pretty much every monster, and I got all my Serpent Eyes then. And now for the ingredient that most you hate the most, High Arcana. Yes, this item is a pain in the ass to get. The good news is there are a lot of ways to get it. First and foremost, Espers. Steal from each and every Esper. Remember this? Okay. Alright, all Espers have High Arcana as a steal, but unfortunately it is a rare steal. Shit! I didn't have the thief cut. That was like a 3%. That was a 3% chance.
Some of you are probably going to go at the Ultima before getting all your high Arcanas. If you do that, save your game and do not continue until you steal a high Arcana. With the Thief Custom, she has a 30% chance of containing a high Arcana. You need to do this because this is the easiest high Arcana from Eastbus. It's too good to pass up. I don't care how long it takes. Do not continue until you get that high Arcana. My first time playing this game, I did this just so I can get my third high Arcana. Actually, I needed 6 of them because I messed up. So, yeah. Of course, now you gotta take the bitch down, and that's not easy to do, unfortunately. A really good way to get high Arcana early in the game, actually, is by sticking it from the Eastbus and the Sagittarian Caves. All you gotta do is steal from it, then zone out and re-enter and steal from it again. Keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again until you eventually steal your high Arcanas, however many you need. Personally, I got mine while I was doing those dragons for Wyrm Bones and those ghosts for Death Powder. Another way to get high Arcana is getting 4 Eastbus. After you get 4 Eastbus, the clan owner will give you high Arcana. This one's pretty much guaranteed because the storyline automatically gives you 5 of them. After you do 24 hunts, he'll give you another high Arcana. Hunts are really, really important, people. But wait, there's more. The Death Side hunt will give you a free Soul Thamaza. Soul Thamaza plus Face Stone plus 10 Arcana equals high Arcana in the Bazaar. Of course, I am assuming that you guys have the Connector Jar, right? You know, Thoros, the Trickster, and the Gill Snapper. Sell those items to make the Connector Jar. This thing makes every normal monster drop Arcana. It makes red monster drop high Arcana, and of course, it makes level 99 Chocobo drop high Arcana all the time. By the way, I think. Yes, level 99 Chocobo again. Face Stones, come on, you know where to get those. All the elementals have them. They're really, really easy to steal. Soul Thamaza plus 10 Arcana plus 1 Face Stone equals high Arcana. And you can do this as many times as you wish, by the way. And for that reason, some of you might want to get more Soul Thamazas. One way to get is steal it from its team in the buy-in passage. It's a trophy monster, so don't kill it if you want to steal more. A good thing about this is you can go to the next room and steal it again. Cool, huh? There's even another way to get Soul Thamaza. Oversoul, of course. After you kill so many monsters and the ship Oversoul appears. It has a low monograph drop, but you might get one with enough time. If for some reason you can't get your Servitars before going to the Head Mines, you can steal one from Zodiac and a high Arcana too, but come on, that's actually a kick in the balls because Servitars is actually easy to make. And not only that, but the clan owner will give you a Servitars after you get all 13 Eastbus. Anyway, once you finally get all that fucking loot, it's finally time to make this thing. Now, Imperial Souls Sagittarius, you need to make them together with 1 high Arcana, but you need to make them one at a time. Do not sell all your War God's Band, all your Snake Skins, all your Soul Powers, and so on and so forth. Make sure that you make them one at a time with 1 high Arcana. You only need a total of 3 high Arcanas, less if you got the Imperial Soul and whatever. I don't know. But you get what I'm trying to say. Now then, as I said, you need to make the Toner Soul with the Masamune, because if you don't, you're going to need a total of 5 gem steals. Last but definitely not least, you need Gil, and an ass load of it, 950,000 to be exact. As for your second Masamune, you know where to get it, right? You have to beat Gilgamesh to get the second Masamune. Very important for the international version, the Masamune is actually in the room where you fought Gilgamesh. The owner gives you Excalibur instead. The one that you make in the bazaar is called the Masamune Eye, and it combos like mad, but unfortunately, in the international version, Dreadline, Masamune, and Gadget Gloves cannot coexist.
Alright, new people, this is very, very important. You're naturally going to think that the Yager Dark Blade and other ninja swords are the best weapons for taking down Yasmet, but I'm here to tell you right here and now, that Masamune is the undisputed champion. Ninja swords are pretty good against Yasmet, but they pale in comparison to Bosch and Barthir using Masamune's. Alright, we are almost done with the weapons. There are a few left. We need to get the Staff of the Magi. And in all honesty, unless you're playing the international version, it's really not worth it in the English version, because the only reason why you would get this thing in the English version is because it has the highest magic increase on magic weapons. But it's only 1 point higher than the Cloud Staff and the Judicial Staff. But some people do like perfect, equipment for fighting Yasmet and so on and so forth. In both versions, it powers up holy attacks. But in the international version, it powers up holy, wind, and ice. And this is very, very helpful for your black mage, especially for the sunken ship. Anyway, what you have to do is you have to go to this level of pharaohs. You have to spawn this souped up dark elemental. Beat him. Then, after you beat that guy, you have to go directly to this level in the pharaohs. You have to go directly there. That souped up dark elemental has like a 20% chance to spawn or something like that. And note that you have to actually defeat the Shadow Seer in order to spawn that guy. That's very, very important to know. Anyway, after you beat that guy and go directly to this level, you make this souped up white elemental appear. At this point, just keep stealing from him over and over and over again until you eventually get the Staff of the Magi. In the international version, this thing carries a Sagittarius Bow instead, and also drops Staff of the Magi with a rare drop. But you can also pick one up, and you're probably only going to need one of them in the international version. Alright guys, next we're going to get the Ragnarok. This weapon is okay. This is another one of those swords that you want to use when you don't have time or patience to get the Tourneol. It does cause immobilize 25% of the time, which might help sometimes, but still. Anyway, you just have to complete the Ixion hunt to get this thing. Note that this will be pretty difficult to do if you don't have rubber suits, because Ixion hits really hard. He uses a lot of stats effects like Curse or Sleeper Guy, and this is another one of those monsters that when you attack it, you take damage. So just watch out when you find this guy. And finally, the last weapon, we're going to get the Grand Mace. But unfortunately, I can't find a use for this thing. I mean, maces are supposed to give you a magic user some form of attacking. But, seriously, I mean, you're better off using a one-handed sword probably. I don't know. Anyway, what you have to do is you have to beat that giant dinosaur close to the pharaohs. This will be kind of difficult if you don't use reverse. I'm telling you right now, if you don't use reverse or that Uber shield, this will be pretty difficult to do. Speaking of which, let's now move on to the ultimate shields. This thing has 90 evasion, very, very sexy. Unfortunately, it hits you with poison, sap, and slow. But as you just saw, it can be useful in certain fights. If you have Herm Sandals, you can negate the slow, and maybe a Ring of Renewal or some form of region can negate the sap. There are only 3 of them in the entire game, unfortunately. The first one is in the Feywood, hiding behind that trap. There will sometimes be 3 chests here. The very last chest has like a 20 or 25% chance to spawn, and it contains the shield. The second one is inside the hint mines in this spot. The second layer of the hint mines, unfortunately, so you need 10 Eastwood to get to this one. It's a 40% chance to spawn, And do not use your diamond armor for this one, otherwise you will get a knot of rust. And the third one is inside the port of Bethlehem. Unfortunately, I'm not going to worry about this one because the thing is, you can't use the RNG for this one. You have to use your diamond armor to get it, so it's a 10% chance when it's an item. So, yeah, you'll probably reset the game like 50 times before you actually get this one, so I'm not going to worry about that one. As for the Zodiac Shield thing, I'm going to dig at one of my old videos to show this one because I don't feel like going down there right now. Behind Taurus Gate 2, there's a chest that spawns at low rate. You would get either the shield or a brave suit. If you're good to RNG, you need to get the shield. If you're not, you need to get the brave suit. If you don't get the one you want, reset and try again until you get it. Speaking of the RNG, the second shield is inside the Brian Passage. Unfortunately, this place is completely flooded with ghosts, so no telling how long it's going to take you to find out exactly where you are because you're going to do a lot of fighting down here. Anyway, once you finally get clear and everything, just spam the RNG to get this one to pop out. Once again, guys, this stuff does indeed work, and you need to learn how to use the immobilized glitch to do this. I will post links in the descriptions on where you can find out how to learn how to do this stuff. And finally, as ultimate shields go, we have the Shell Shield. There are two free ones in the main game. You get the first one by doing that big Wyvern Lord hunt in the Sand Sea. The petitioner is that dude in the weapon shop in Rabanester. He will give you a Shell Shield after you complete the hunt. This is the easy one. The second one is inside the Steel Shrine. As I said earlier, you have a chance to get either a Shell Shield or a Dark Matter. If you use your Diamond Armor, it will usually be a Shell Shield. And for those of you who fucked up and sold these things because you don't know how good they really are, if you want one, you're going to have to abuse the RNG in the Selby step. This thing has one use and one use only. Yazamats. It won't always save you, but it will save you sometimes. As for the helmets, we have the Dueling Mask and the Circlet. And you know what's funny? The first ones are in the first part of the Pharaohs, and the second ones are in the second part of the Pharaohs. Both of them. Isn't that ironic? Anyway, for your Dueling Mask, you have to kill all those red things, all those red face things, and make a bridge over here, and there's your Dueling Mask. It is 70%, so it might not be there. As for the Circlet, it's where these two giant dragons are. But note that you do not want to use your diamond armor for this, otherwise you will lose it. As for your second pair, in this part of the Pharaohs, here's your second dual mask. And here is your second Circlet. Whether or not that the diamond armor fucks this up, I don't know, but I know that you'll get it without the diamond armor, so for safety measures, don't use your diamond armor. Moving on to the armor, we're going to start out with the Lordly Robes, and guess what? We're going to get the first one on this very level. How very, very convenient. In the northeast section of the Abyss Side of the Pharaohs, there's a chest that contains a set of Lordly Robes. But watch out for that fucking magic pot. Make sure you set up your gambits to attack foes that reach the holy only. For those of you who want more of these, you're going to go to the second part of the Hidden Mines. Yes, this spot again. This chest is a 40% chance, unfortunately. And then it might contain Lord of the Robes. It is respawnable, fortunately, so that's some good news. But thing is, you're going to want to be Zodiac first, because if you don't, it's going to take a lot of walking to zone this one, because it's not going to be there all the time. And now we have my personal favorite armor in the entire game, the Brave Suit. I love this thing so much. I already showed you what the first one is inside the Great Crystal. Remember, you have a chance to get either a Brave Suit or that Zodiac Shield thing. Reset and try again if you don't get the one you want. This is a one-time chest, unfortunately. The second one is inside the Hidden Mines. It's a 25% chance to spawn. It's a one-time chest. Do not use your diamond armor, otherwise you will lose this Brave Suit. And for those of you who want more, you guessed it, you gotta spam the RNG. The good news is this one's really, really, really easy to do. All you gotta do is get the damn thing to appear, and it's as good as yours. What? You still don't believe that this stuff works? Alright, how about this? I'm gonna get the Brave Suit and the Zodiac Spear on the same run. How about them apples? Once again, guys, I will be here all day and night explaining to you how this stuff works. So you're just gonna have to look at the links I have posted in the description of this movie, and take it with it until you eventually learn how to do it. It's gonna seem really confusing at first, but eventually you will be surprised how easy and effective this stuff really, really is. the Zodiac Spear is a 10% chance to spawn, a 10% chance to be an item, and then a 10% chance for that item to be the Zodiac Spear. What are the chances of me getting it? You're still not convinced? Okay, how about I get a third one? There we go. 3 Zodiac Spears. 3 Zodiac Spears. It works, people. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use them. Alright, before you attempt to get this one, make sure you have decoy and black belts. You need these to get this. Well, you might not need it, but it'll be a lot easier if you had them. Kill all the Oso so you can activate Heavenic. And kill it over and over again using the glitch. For those of you who don't know how this glitch works, there are a few monsters, mostly teleport monsters, that when you kill them, if you leave the area before their body disappears, they will keep spawning over and over and over again. However, once their body disappears and you see the spins points number, they are gone and you have to respawn them all over again. Your party leader needs to be doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Don't even turn on their gamuts. They need to do nothing because they can't be stopped to use cure and stuff like that. They need to leave their area before that body disappears. This is the only way to chain Heavenic. I don't think it's possible to chain Heavenic any other way because Oversoul cannot be killed by stone or poison. Or confusion, by the way. Anyway, keep killing them until you get the high chain. Do not pick up any loot until it is the highest chain, unless the number is flashing. For those of you who don't know this, when the number is flashing like that, that means you can pick up loot without being penalized. If you keep picking up loot and the number's not flashing, it'll take a long time for the chain to build up. Some of you knew that, some of you didn't. Anyway, once you finally get the highest chain, what you want to do is you want to pick it up and immediately leave as quick as possible. The reason why you want to use black belts instead of ribbon on your main attacker is because unfortunately ribbon blocks decoy. You need decoy on your attacker so that the body is facing sideways. You have to touch the body on the side of it in order to pick up the loot before the body disappears. And he uses disable a lot, so that's why you want black belts. If you see that you aren't going to pick up that loot before the body disappears, don't risk losing your chain. Do not risk losing your chain. You might want to like switch party members to do this. A good way to do it is switch party members, pick up loot, then go back to your main leader and leave the area before the body disappears. Every time you successfully pick up loot, check your inventory because it's usually not going to be the first one you see on the menu. It'll usually say Grandma Togo, whatever the hell that item is. Just keep checking it over and over again. Keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again. And eventually, you will get that 5% drop grand armor. Okay, they get the equipment. You know where to get these things, right? Of course, you're stealing from Gilgamesh. One time only. If you miss them, they're gone for good, so do not pass them up. In the first fight in the third stage, you steal the Gedge Shield. First fight, fourth phase, you steal the Gedge Gloves. And let me tell you something right now. I don't care how long it takes, how many times you have to try stealing from them. Do not continue the game until you get this thing. It makes the Masamune combo almost every time. 80%, I think. Somewhere around there. 70, I don't know. In the second fight, in stage 3, you steal the Gedge helmet. And finally, in stage 4, the second fight, you steal the Gedge armor. Unfortunately, except for the Gedge gloves, the Gedge equipment is kind of a disappointment. Unless you're playing the international version, because in the international version, the Gedge equipment is the absolute strongest equipment that a samurai can wield. So it's worth getting in the international version. The only reason why you get this stuff in the English version because it says Geji. And finally we have the ribbon, the ultimate accessory ribbon. All right, as I said, there's a rare monster in the Pharaohs that might drop it 5%, but fuck that. Level 99 Turbo drops it every time you kill it. I think it's every time, I'm not sure. We already talked about the one in the Celebrant step. This is actually the easiest one to get because it's really easy to abuse the RNG on this one, and the save spot is right next to it. And now for your other free ones. There's one inside the Pharaohs in the 3rd level of the Abyss Island of the Pharaohs. This one has a low spawn rate, so just be patient. It's a one-time, unfortunately. And the last one is inside the Hem Mines, the same spot where you got the Brave Suit. You might get a ribbon and you might get a renewing motion, but this chest is respawnable. And you don't need your diamond arm. You can get as many ribbons as you wish. But it is a low spawn rate, so it might take you anywhere from 5 hours to get one. And there you have it, my friends. That is all of the ultimate weapons, armors, and accessories in Final Fantasy XII. What? What's that? There's more? Not those. You really want to make me get that stuff? Come on, I don't have that much time. Alright, if you say so. Alright guys, the Feasome Three. I call them the Feasome Three because these 3 shits are damn near impossible to get. You need patience. First thing you want to do is kill this boss. If you just want to get one of them, kill the boss. If you want to get about 3 or 4 of them, then don't kill the boss because you don't necessarily have to. In any case, once that's done, now you want to chain these 2 clay golems here in the highways. There's only 2 of them here. Fortunately, it's very easy to zone and make them respawn. Note that it might be best to do this with your guns to make sure that you don't accidentally pick up any loot before you want to. Don't pick up any loot until the chain is the highest level. And watch out for those slavens over there on the left because sometimes they become active and you might kill them by accident with your gambits on breaking your chain. You don't want to do that. Now we have a lot, and I mean a lot of ground to cover on foot. We have to go all the way to the Pharaohs without breaking our chain. Impossible? No. You need to kill the boss to do this. So, I'm going to show you the way. riding the straw does not break a chain as long as Vaughn isn't like on the main screen and stuff like that. You know, when he's walking around town by himself. Other than that, riding the straw does not break a chain. Anyway, don't rush shit. We still gotta make it all the way to the top of the pharaohs. You know where to go. I will meet you there. Do not fight any monsters. Do not touch any sage crystals, of course. Alright, we made it to the top. I recommend either the Black Mask or the Demon Shield. Why? Because these bombs here conveniently hit you with their normal attacks. Isn't that very nice? Anyway, run all the way to the end where Tower is. If Tower isn't there, simply use the Waystone here and teleport back. Keep doing this over and over again and eventually Tower will spawn. However, after you beat Tower, you need to go all the way to the beginning of this level where the bombs are and go there again, because unfortunately that Waystone counts as one screen away. By the way guys, when you kill this guy, make absolutely sure that he's as far away from the edge as possible, because if Tower is too close to the edge, he might not drop anything because the game thinks that he fell off the ledge, which means the loot fell off the ledge, so you won't get it. Try to lure him to the middle in some kind of way. Keep fighting him over and over and over again. And 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 again. You need patience for this one. Lots and lots and lots of patience. Don't even consider going after this one if you don't have patience. Eventually you will get that 5% grand helmet. And honestly, this shit really isn't worth it considering what you have to go through to get it. Now, the next one isn't too bad. It's just kind of annoying because of these goddamn dragons. Were it not for those fucking dragons, this wouldn't be annoying. You still need patience to get this shit though. What you want to do is you want to come into the Lucid Mines where those two flying dragons are. And you want to spawn a rare muscle known as Bombshell. There's actually a fast way to spawn this guy. Keep zoning between here and Site 5 over and over and over again. Do this instead of walking all the way down to the end and walking all the way back to see if he's there. You want to use the one in Site 5 instead of Site 11, because when you go to Site 11, it takes a long time for the goddamn thing to load. In Site 5, it only takes about maybe 3 or 5 seconds, which definitely speeds this up. In Site 11, it takes about, what, 10, 20 seconds sometimes. It takes too long. The thing is, Bombshell has a 20% chance to spawn. But if you do this over and over and over and over and over again, eventually he will spawn. But once he spawns, he will not leave until you kill him. So if you do this about a minute or two, go in the middle and he should be there. If he's not there, then you're just unlucky. As for those fucking dragons, the first thing you want to do is blind them. Do not try to kill them by any means necessary, not even with poison, because what's going to happen is you're going to poison them and you're going to cast fire or thunder or something to try to speed things up, and you're going to accidentally kill them, and then you're going to get pissed off. The good news is Bombshell will chase you throughout the whole level, but the dragons will only go so far. Unfortunately, if the dragons are close to the door, then yeah, you're going to have to deal with them. So just cast blind on them, and that'll make most of the attacks miss for most of the time. Once you spawn Bombshell, you want to kill him, of course. Don't pick up any fucking loot yet unless the number is flashing. What you want to do now is you need to zone 2 screens away. But a fast way to do that is to use the mine carts. When you use the mine cart and go to the other room, that counts as zoning 2 screens away. From this point, just keep walking back and forth over and over again for about a minute or two. Go in the middle. Bombshell should be there. and kill them over and over and over and over and over and over again. Do not pick up any fucking loot unless the number is flashing until you get to the highest chain. I know it's very tempting, but don't touch it. Make sure to set your gamers to attack the foe that is weak to water to make absolutely sure that you don't attack anything else, because you are going to be in a hurry when you do this. With time, patience, and a little luck, eventually you will get your 12% Yagu Dark Blade. If you're lucky, you get 4 of them. In case you're wondering, it took me about an hour and a half to get it. No, please, not that, please. I can make the Tourneol 2 times before I get this thing. Please don't make me do this. You guys are killing me. Alright, this is the last one. Now, I'm telling you right now, don't even think about going after this shit unless you have nothing else to do that day. You need to spend a whole dedicated off day. You need to spend a good couple of hours to get started with this thing. I'm telling you, don't even consider going after this unless you have nothing else to do on that day. There are 3 ways to go about this. There's a luck method, there's a bomb method, and there's a zone method. We're going to use the zone method. I'll explain the other 2 methods later on. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this first, but it'll be a lot easier if you do, especially if you just want one of them. What we're going to do here in Gear Vegan, we're going to kill all these little flying demon things here. Kill them and only them. Try your best not to pick up the loot so you can build the chain a lot faster. Although it shouldn't take too long because there's so many of them around here. Anyway, once you finally get to the highest chain, now you want to go into the Great Crystal. Head towards Waystone 14. And now we're going to do the zone method. I didn't think it worked at first, but apparently it does indeed work, and it's really effective. This game has some weird and unique glitches. These Necrophebes here, you want to kill these guys with poison. Now, this isn't as difficult as it seems because they have just a little over 20,000 HP, and conveniently they are weak to holy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on killing these guys with poison. We're gonna attack them twice for 9,000 with the holy spell, and then we're gonna blind them. We're gonna bleed them, and then we're gonna poison them. It won't take as long as you think it will. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not just attack them with the Excalibur instead? It'll be a lot faster. Wait just a second, Grasshopper. You're forgetting one thing. The holy spell cannot combo. The Excalibur can indeed combo. This is something that you need patience for. You get in a hurry and use the Excalibur, you're going to fuck around, you're going to kill those guys, and you're going to break a chain. You don't want to do that. Anyway, eventually these things will start dividing. Now here's where the glitch comes in. According to guides, the game has this weird glitch in this spot where if you divide 5 or more Necrophebes, the game thinks that you're actually killing foes when you're zoning. I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm telling you today that it does indeed work. So in other words, you don't have to kill 256 of these monsters. Just kill every Necrophebe in this area. Use your strongest shield, your strongest weapon, or whatever. I've only got one main gosh, and I don't feel like going back. So, as I said, I'm going to give every weapon some use. These measures have 25 invasions, so I guess that's some use if you don't feel like going back and get your main gosh because you didn't get it. But anyway, you want to kill every Necrophebe in this area with poison. And they divide like crazy. It won't take too long. I would say it'll probably take like maybe a dedicated 30 minutes or something like that to do this. Attack them with a holy spell twice, then bleed them, then poison them. Use blind so you don't get hit that much, and eventually the poison will kill them. After you've walked around the whole area, if you don't see any Necrophebes, that means you kill them all. And by the way, do not go into the next area. You want to stay in this area and where the Leah gate switch is. Do not go into the area where the actual portal thing is. Don't go over there yet. If you do that, you'll mess this up. Anyway, after you killed every Necrophebe in this area, go back to the Waystone and see if Lava Eater is there. If he's not, what you want to do now is you want to zone back and forth over and over again. The same way you did for Bombshell. Do this for about 5 or 10 minutes. what's going on here is, I think every time you're zoning like this, the game thinks you're killing monsters. And eventually, if you keep killing monsters, you're gonna spawn a Lava Eater, right? So check back after like 5 or 10 minutes. Go in the middle, and Lava Eater should be there. Simply kill the son of a bitch, and within the luck, you will get the 12% Danjiro, or Danjari, how the fuck you pronounce it. Now, as you see, I got really lucky, and I got it on the first one. But most of you aren't gonna be this lucky. Now, unfortunately, Lava Eater is a pain in the ass himself, because the thing is, he attacks with stats effects, so you're gonna want ribbons to block that. But at the same time, he parries like crazy, so you're gonna want Cameo Belt to counter that. What I like to do is, I like to use a ribbon on my leader, and Cameo Belts with ice arrows on my 2 attackers. This way, if they get hit by Disable or whatever, I can just use a ribbon on them while they keep attacking, and then eventually they'll kill them. Now, some of you aren't gonna be this lucky to get the Danjiro as quick as I did. If you want more Danjiros, or if he doesn't drop it, what you want to do now is, now you want to go back to the Leo Gate switch room. But do not fight any Nicophees in this area. According to guys, you will mess up if you do that. While we're doing this, I guess we'll talk about the luck method. It's exactly what it says, luck. You just kill all those Nicophees the normal way with the basic attacks. Eventually, Lava Eater will spawn and kill him. And within the luck, you get the Danjiro. But it'll be a 3% drop that way, so that's just not going to happen most likely. Now go back to the Waystone, and if you're lucky, Lava Eater will immediately respawn. So it's possible to get one right after another in less than a couple of minutes. Now this isn't always going to work. If it doesn't work, you're going to have to do that one screen zone again for about another 5 or 10 minutes. Eventually he'll come back. Now I'm telling you right now, those fucking Reapers are going to be in your way. You got 2 choices. You can either vanish them, or you can silence them. Vanishing them sounds nice, but the thing is, eventually they will come back, and they're going to start causing you all kind of hell. What you want to do is, you want to silence the son of bitches. What that does is, it prevents them from using death, which is the only attack you really need to worry about. After you silence them, use your strongest shields to block their attacks, and they pretty much can't hurt you after that. Alright, now let's talk about the bomb method, which is basically the same thing, except it takes a lot longer than the zone method. And I'm going to dig up my old movie from the Penella solo to show this, because I don't feel like doing that shit. The bomb method, basically, you fight the mom bombs, but you don't actually fight them. What you want to do is, you want to build up your chain and give Vegan first, of course. Now, these mom bombs, you want to use like your main gosh and the best shit you have, and the adamant helmet, or either something else that has fire damage. Mom bombs will eventually self-destruct. For some reason, this actually counts. This counts as you actually defeating the monster, and it does break a chain. So, using the bomb method, you have to actually explode 256 bombs. After you do that, Lava Eater will spawn, and then kill him, and within luck you get your Danjiro. If it doesn't drop it, you have to kill more bombs. It's random, anywhere from maybe 30 to another 256. And then kill Lava Eater over again and again and again. Eventually you'll get the shit. But personally, I prefer the zone method. Use something like a book or a shoe or rubber band, or use something to hold the left analog stick down. And while you're doing this zoning thing, you need to be doing something else for like another 5 or 10 minutes. Like clean your room, get something to eat, get on the internet. Do something else while you're doing this one zoning thing. Then check back every 5 or 10 minutes, walk in the middle, and Lava Eater should be there. No way in fucking bloody hell would I sit here and chain this many Lava Eaters if this method wasn't effective. It's probably going to take you a long time to spawn that first Lava Eater, but once you spawn them, after then, it's just a matter of time. Sadly, usually when you spawn Lava Eater, you will spawn 3 Reapers, so that's unfortunate. So just make sure that you're prepared to deal with the son of bitches, because they are going to be in your way. Now, you still need a little patience and luck sometimes. Even though I chained over 70 Lava Eaters, I only got 8 Danjarios, which is about right, because it's a 12% drop. So just be patient, hang in there, and eventually you'll get the shit. And that, my friends, concludes this video. Hope you enjoyed it. You may now return to your lives. It took me 4 weeks to make this shit.